If you're a fan of the Tennessee Titans, the Install Live Show with Greg Cosell of NFL Films coming up Saturday, May the 20th at the Hutton Hotel. Get your tickets right now at 1045thezone.com to hear the best breakdown of Will Levis.
Really, really excited and thankful for the opportunity.
And the rest of the Titans draft class.
It is 6 o'clock. Good morning. I'm Jonathan Schaefer from the Superbook.com sports desk. Several Titans veterans met with the media yesterday at Ascension St. Thomas Sports Park. Wide receiver Treylon Burks spoke about his offseason preparations, his expectations going into his second season, and much more.
I mean, I feel great. Running fast, not having any problems with breathing, and really just having fun, man. I'm in a good place, state of mind. And I'm just thankful.
To the association, Nuggets 132, Lakers 126. Nikola Jokic went 34, 21, and 14 in the Game 1 victory. Miami at Boston tonight, Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals. 7:30 will be the tip for that. The San Antonio Spurs won the NBA Draft Lottery, which will allow them to draft French sensation Victor Wembanyama. Major League Baseball, the Rangers beat the Braves 7-4. College baseball, Tennessee defeated Belmont 9-5 in their final regular season home game. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Wednesday morning edition, off and running on Ramon, Kayla, and Will, powered by All Four Seasons Garage Doors. It's a good morning to have a good morning with Ramon Foster and Kayla Anderson. Jonathan Schaefer behind the glass, making the show happen.
Back producing! Wow!
My name is Will Bowling. It is Wednesday, May the 17th, as Treylon Burks feels faster. Two new Titans form a unique connection on their first trip to Nashville, Tennessee. And we have a new logo to give to the people. Maybe not even a new logo. We just have a logo to give to the people. Not like we had one to begin with.
It's our first official logo.
That's right. Good morning.
It's been in the works for quite some time. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
That's an understatement.
I got up this morning. I said, we get to promote our new logo today and go to a soccer game.
It's loud.
That'll wake your ass up.
Yeah, it
really
did.
loud. I mean,
if you're driving in the car.
I'm very awake. I'm a little too awake now, but that's okay.
A little too awake. How is that the case?
You don't want me to be too awake.
Yeah, I was about to say.
You're usually more violent when you're too awake.
That's very true, too.
Notice he didn't say we were wrong.
Ramon,
We're just moving it along.
Are you
Moving
awake?
along.
I'm fully awake this morning. I'm
Okay.
always awake. I'm always up. Well, not always up.
I
My
wouldn't say
mind's
always.
always going. Yeah. I'm usually always up. So if it's go time, Kayla, let's go. Yeah, I'm fully awake. Shafe did point out we mostly have on all black, but you have on dark green. So
You can't tell in the chat, though.
see,
And on YouTube. You just
Because
can't.
it's a dark green.
Yeah.
And also the strange lighting we have in our beautiful studios.
and also as
This
much as we
phenomenal
bragged about the sunrise.
I'm a big fan of the light.
It's a little dusty this morning outside too. It's not it's not bright like it has been the last few days. The day is not supposed to rain. It looked like it's going to rain. So I don't know if that's humidity or what outside.
Speaking of that, as I sound like an old man, after the rain moved through up in Simple Sumner yesterday, nice cool breeze.
Beautiful.
Yep.
Y'all got
Sitting
rain
out-
yesterday?
Sitting out on the front porch. Oh, yeah, up in Sumner we did.
Yeah,
I guess
I
downtown
got a
there's
little
bit.
rain.
Yeah, y'all got rain here too. I
Just
thought.
a little bit.
Kayla's game got canceled due to weather.
Which I didn't even understand, really. I was all
Safety.
preparing for an 18-hour day.
On
My
turf?
mind was set. Yeah,
All right,
and they
all right.
canceled the
I'm
game.
not saying this is what happened. I'm saying this is my theory.
Okay, give it to me.
Final SEC series coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think they were just like, you know what?
I know.
I think we're all going to take a
You're
little break.
playing conspiracy theorists this morning?
Hell yeah!
Play the X-Files music.
I don't have that queued up.
Or
Okay.
Unsolved Mysteries. That stuff scared the heck out of me as a kid.
Robert Stack
What?
was so
God, it was scary.
What was?
Hold on, I'll find music.
That actually sounds like an
Unsolved
awesome song the way you're
Mysteries.
doing it. I actually thought that was a phenomenal beat right there,
Just gonna
Kayla.
wrap it up with the beat.
As long as I don't hear dude's voice, I think we're good. Long as we don't hear his voice, I am good to go. That voice used to terrify me.
Will, have you seen the remakes of them at least?
Of
They're
what?
on Netflix. Unsolved Mysteries.
I've not.
Okay. Well,
You didn't live that
they're
life.
scary.
Is that the video of the guy that's like, we made it up? It didn't
No.
happen. It's fake.
No.
No.
We made
Oh,
it
that's Jonathan Franks.
Oh,
That's
okay.
He was
Yeah.
Riker in Star Trek: The Next Generation.
See, yeah, no clue. I didn't know this existed until this moment.
Unsolved Mysteries?
I know what X-Files is, but
I still
This
feel
was
like
like real life stuff. Oh, gosh. No. Oh, no. Oh, no.
what in the 80s am I listening
Just
to?
listen. Watch. Watch the beat drop. Oh, no.
Hey, all right, that's enough.
Coming up this morning on Ramon, Kayla, and Will.
Hey, man.
At 8:20 this morning, Mike Wilson joins us to solve the mystery of why Tennessee baseball hasn't been elite. At 9 a.m. this morning, Rhett Bryan of Titans Radio on the mystery of who starts on the Titans offensive line.
F the Colts.
Hey, man.
That's good.
Inky Johnson motivates us at 9:50.
Not with that music, he doesn't.
Hey.
I like this.
It's that part right there, that little whine at the end. Oh, my God.
615-737-1045 if you want to solve the mystery of how to call in to Ramon, Kayla, and Will.
And every time I'd hear it or watch
See,
it,
I get it.
I was at my grandmama's house. Like that, it wasn't coming
Did she
on in my
watch
mom.
it with you?
It was just on those stations that she watched all the time, and she did watch it too. And I'm sitting in the back behind my grandmama and aunties, and I'm just like, man, can we change this? Can we?
Oh, it was scary.
Can we not change this? Do y'all really want to know? I know at the time I'm living in Covington, Tennessee. I'm like, I know we're in Covington, Tennessee, but what if that person decides he want to lay here in Covington, Tennessee with us? Like, oh my gosh!
There
as
was
a
one
kid?
in Spokane that happened, and then I watched it, and I'm like, I can't do that. So I shut it down.
I can't do this.
Shut it down.
Kayla, I'm with you. Like, what scares you like this to this day? Like
That kind of stuff.
Last movie I watched that did that to me. Last movie I watched that did it to me was The Fourth Kind.
What's that?
About alien abductions.
See, that stuff.
Alaska.
Fourth kind.
Hey, don't bother.
That stuff isn't bad to me because it's so not real. It's like when there's something that's realistic where I'm working out in my head of like, okay, that could happen to me. Those are the ones that get me a little bit.
The Fourth Kind was made in a way that showed real events with real calls coming in. That was the separator.
I hate the calls.
It was, and then at the end, I think it was Jonu, Alaska.
Smith?
No, Alaska.
Juneau, Alaska.
Juneau,
Alaska.
The
Alaska.
capital of Alaska.
Yep.
Either
Transcripts,
way.
Iffy.
Yeah, my transcripts are real good, but that's neither here
How
nor
did you
there.
know that, Ramon?
What, my transcripts was good? Because I got a degree.
I was saying a
we're
bad
gonna
joke.
have that bad of pun jokes this morning.
Yeah, of course. I mean, what are you? I don't take days off on the show. What are you talking about?
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah,
That's fair.
What are we doing?
But the calls at the end, like in the credits, or like people calling, like in like real, I see a UFO. Like it
Why did
was
we get down this rabbit hole this
because
morning?
we went
Unsolved
to
Mysteries is the GOAT, though.
UFOs, unsolved mysteries.
It was everything
Yeah,
from
those aren't real.
UFOs to unsolved
You wanna know?
murders to
Yeah. You want to know how we got
everything.
down this, Will? It's May 17th.
It's Mason. Yeah,
True.
Oh, okay.
it's fair. That's fair.
It's gonna be May.
Yeah.
That
It's gonna be May.
that
we're gonna have to talk
beat
during
is
the
insane. It's gonna be May.
Justin.
Justin
In
Timberlake.
Sync.
In sync. Yeah. No strings
That's right.
attached. I have that CD in my
That's
car
a
right now.
great
this day.
CD,
Right
Will.
now.
Let's play
At
it
this
in here.
exact moment. I don't have a CD player in my car, but I do have the CD.
Either.
I know.
I've
There are a
got
lot
one.
of
I actually have a CD player in here. I just don't know if it's wired up.
when I got my new car and when I bought it after I graduated
Beamer?
college. No, I don't own a Beamer.
He's
Okay.
speaking it
Don't
into
make me less
existence.
relatable than I already am. You can get away with that. I cannot get away with that.
609.
I'm not likable enough for that. For whatever reason. To the phones. John in the Borough is up first this morning. What's up, John?
All right. First off, you're all forgetting the GOAT of scary shows when we were children, except for Will, because again, Will
Okay.
is
Still
younger
a
than all
child.
of us.
Yeah, I know. I get it.
Are you afraid of the dark?
Ooh, yeah. It's
Yeah.
a good one.
I was, but
I still won't swim alone because of that one episode with the school pool.
Straight up.
Yes. I remember that one.
John, like what? Okay, but what did Unsolved Mysteries do for you? Oh, John
hung up.
God, Lee, John, I thought you
Weren't
were
quick
smarter
enough.
than this, man. Your transcripts are iffy out of Memphis. That's all. I mean, the biggest
I'm not gonna
superstar in
question
Memphis,
that.
his transcripts are iffy right now too. I mean, heck, what are we talking about? It's representation of the city right now, and I'm from the area, so I can say
Right?
that.
You can
Yeah,
say
yeah, I
that.
can
I'll
say
leave that
that.
up to you. There it
what
is.
am I
Are
listening
you afraid
to?
of the dark opening?
There's no need to go down this road today.
I really
But I
don't
like
know
it.
why we're doing
like
this.
it.
I get chill bumps whenever I hear this.
Goosebumps. Remember those books?
Goosebumps. I read that. And R.L. Stein.
We didn't even do this much Halloween stuff on Halloween
Nah.
weekend, did we?
Nah.
And who we are in May?
Halloween's overrated.
How?
It's overrated.
I like the candy part.
Shay,
I loved it as a kid, but for adults, it's overrated.
dog.
Unless you want to
No.
be dressing up in some little outfit.
Who are you today?
I'm the same person I've always been.
You are the danger, man.
No,
Everything that's positive, Kayla, is on the chopping block
that's
with him.
not true. I've always thought Halloween was just. I never once I got to a certain age, it's like, okay,
You
like,
would
that was fun as
You
a
would
kid.
have watched Unsolved Mysteries with popcorn, is where you are
Yeah,
right
of
now.
course I did. Of course
You
I
would have
would have.
You can still catch an episode. Well, one episode if you will watch on Netflix if you
Okay.
ever have any time. Just
I'm
check
not
out
denying
one.
I would
It's
enjoy
on
it.
Check out
Netflix?
one.
Oh wow, will not be getting the viewership from me. Tell you that much.
So I went to go try to do it the other day, and I was like, I'm going to dive into this, and I couldn't. I said I'm going to put myself in a creepy mood. I'm not going to do it. So I didn't.
I do like that stuff in general. I just
Yeah.
wasn't alive when it was coming out.
You'd like it.
I
don't
like
like
it
it.
too.
I don't deny I'd like it.
But
You
like
got to be in the right mind frame.
that, and as a kid, I wasn't in the right mind frame.
Fair enough.
As a kid.
Josh is in Franklin, Kentucky up next. 615-737-1045. Good morning, Josh.
Hey, thanks for taking my call. I was listening, and Unsolved Mysteries just brought back a huge thing of nostalgia. And, you know, you were talking about scary stuff. They had a ghost stories one. Never believed in ghosts, but this house that they had on there in the creeks, the actors that they had on that show made it so stinking realistic.
Yeah.
I was horrified after it was over. But the funny thing about it is, I remember to this day the phone number. At the end of the show, it was always, if you have any information on this, call 1-800-876-5353.
Oh my
Wow.
gosh. He got it. That's it. That's how it ended.
That's it.
Yeah.
Did it freak you out? Did it creep you out a little bit when you were younger?
Oh, yes. I had nightmares about that
See?
ghost house
There we go.
for forever because it was so... I never believed in it as a kid even, but when I saw that show, I was like, holy crap, that's real.
That's so good.
It left such an impression
Thank you,
on
Josh.
us.
Appreciate the call.
Childhood trauma.
Josh need counseling, man. With me. I'm going with you, Josh. Just get us a group break, man.
All right, well, you're going to watch one episode at least, right?
No, he's not going.
No,
I think he will.
I mean, I'm not watching
It's
a show
on
right now because I
Netflix.
just finished the one I was watching.
I'm not holding your hand the next morning, just so you know.
I won't need that. I think
He's
I'll
a
be
big
okay.
kid.
You'll
now.
be fine. Okay, I'm
not a kid at all. I'm just
Looking out
I
for
can
you.
watch whatever the heck I want to. We're gonna go to break right now, and Keith Bulluck's gonna talk to us about the Titans coming up next on 104.5 The Zone.
Go to break!
If you have a wet basement or crawl space, it's time to call United Structural Systems. We've all heard about these guys for a long time and for good reasons. They've served Middle Tennessee since 1994, and they've helped thousands of satisfied residential customers in that time. They are the go-to company when it comes to foundation repair and waterproofing. And if you have a wet basement or crawl space, you don't have to put up with that. Water intrusion and moisture can give you all sorts of problems down the road, and you want to get this fixed. It could be because you have poor drainage to surface water flooding over the walls or underwater pressure forcing water into the basement. It could be a plumbing leak, you just don't know. But the team at United Structural Systems will find out why you have a wet basement or crawl space and will give you a plan to fix it. And if you do decide to move forward, you don't have to pay a dime until the work is done and you are satisfied. So get that free estimate from the people I trust. Go to USSTN.com. That's USSTN.com or call them 615-227-2275. United Structural Systems.
Starting off your Wednesday morning here on Ramon, Kayla, and Will, powered by All Four Seasons Garage Doors. Coming up in a couple of minutes, an interesting connection made by two of the newest Tennessee Titans that we'll explain here at 6:45. 615-737-1045 is the number if you want to jump in. As we revisit our conversation with Tennessee Titans linebacker and Titans legend, Nashville legend, Keith Bulluck, who stopped by on the show. Rookie minicamp memories, what the Titans need on offense, and if he's willing to play wide receiver for the Titans this season. Right now.
No, I don't see any scenario of that.
Okay, right now, 104.5 The Zone. Keith, are you willing to come back and play wide receiver for the Titans? I think they've got a need there moving forward this offseason.
Nah, you know what? I'm good.
Okay.
You know what? You don't get a lot of love in that offense at wide receiver. So, that wouldn't be the first position I would choose.
Whoa.
Ooh, Bully, that is correct, man.
facts.
Well, let's just go there then. Will, you want to carry on?
Well, you go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, what does that mean for a guy that in free agency has options to either go here or somewhere else? How likely are you to come here when you speak about those type of situations?
Well, I mean, I said that just, outside looking in. I don't know what the conversation is going to be between, Rand and Mike Vrabel and whoever that prospect is. I know that there is opportunity for you to come in and emerge. I always believe that, especially here, because there is no dominant number one or dominant number two or, number three for that matter. I feel like it's up in the air. So if you can get I heard you guys speaking about maybe a veteran that gets or a younger, whoever type player, wide receiver gets maybe released in camp or maybe even in these mini camps comes in and hungry and wants to emerge. And, obviously it wouldn't be a high priced player, but someone that wants to get that top dollar. I feel like this is a perfect space and platform. Tannehill has showed that he can make the throws that needs to be made if he has, the targets out there. And I just think that, right now the shelf is pretty depleted from the wide receiver standpoint for the Titans. But there are guys out there. They just have to be hungry enough, because I believe that, look, if you come in and you show that you're making plays and that, in camp and in practice is one thing, and then you get to, preseason games is another, but you get into game 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it becomes consistent. You're the guy.
Yeah. Well, I have to ask you, man, as a defender, I know you still have your defensive mindset to this day. While playing, though, and watching the game and reviewing however you consume it now, has a two tight end dominated offense ever scared you as a defender? Like, what is the pros of it, or how did you ever view it as a defender when you don't have strong wide receiver threats?
Well, this game is about matchups. So a two tight end set again. So for example, it would be me and Michael Griffin. Michael Griffin would be on one tight end, I'd be on the other. That's how we would match up back in the day on our defenses. So that really wouldn't pose too much of a threat. You have two very solid corner guys on, tight ends. But we never played against a Gonzalez Gronk type situation. You know what I'm saying? I haven't really seen anything in the NFL since that, and we always looked at that as like, that's kind of scary, because if you just have an Antonio Gates or just a Gronk, yeah, we can handle that. We can either, double him, or if you have someone that can just win that one-on-one matchup, then, you kind of take that and that part out of the game. So like, even in my career, I was the matchup guy until we got Griff, but it was either I got Gonzalez or I got Gates or it was never anybody else that you necessarily had to worry about. So if you can put that together, it creates a lot of matchups, and especially with Derrick Henry as the dot, because you could spread those two guys out. And now you can run Derrick Henry up the gut with traps, counters, all those different things, and it'll be hard for those other guys to get into the box.
How did you ever view the Patriot situations with Gronk and Aaron Hernandez? Did you think that is, what the Titans team have been trying to do for a little while, considering you don't have much in the cupboard when it comes down to the wide receiver room? Like, is that a big threat for teams that can kind of have that type of style with what we know about Wiley and also Chig?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that the Titans have that, because I don't know too much about Wiley. Chig showed, signs last year as a rookie, but you always know once you show some things, the next year is always different.
Yeah.
So I don't necessarily know that the Titans have that now. Now, if they're trying to put that together, that could definitely pose some matchups. But like I said, the Titans are an unproven offense at this point, besides the factors that we do know is Derrick Henry and Ryan Tannehill.
So, Keith, I don't think we've talked to you since the draft, and 0 defensive players taken in the draft. However, they have signed a few DBs actually, out of this rookie mini camp. Is that just a sign of where the Titans are at right now, just offensively depleted, like you said? Or do you feel like maybe there probably was a guy or two that you should have maybe taken defensively?
I think the Titans did their draft for defense in the free agency. They brought on 3-4 guys and maybe even a fifth, and plugged in some areas that they felt that were needed in free agency. The Titans really, hang their hat on their defense. So, bringing in veterans that have made plays in this league that, maybe feel that are ready to emerge and, become a household name on another team. I think those are the type of guys that, Rand and Mike Vrabel brought in. I feel like in the draft, offenses, without them saying it, offense is really what's needed. So I guess they, went to, put all their money there and, hopefully something pans out. But I think the Titans have always definitely been a team that, look, if we can, beat you up on defense, we'll have enough offense to score some points.
So there were so many people, Titans fans specifically, that were not happy, with drafting Will Levis in particular. Then we see him in minicamp for really one day, at least the media did, and got to talk to him, and very well-respected guy when you talk to him. He speaks well, hard worker, you can tell. But do you feel like this guy is going to be in that prove-it mode and have that pressure to be a starter this year?
I mean, if that's what they're asking of him to be a starter this year, yeah, I mean, he's going to have to be in the prove-it mode. That's pretty interesting, because to me, honestly, and like obviously nothing against Will Levis, I just think that 90% of the quarterbacks that come into this league stink and they become backups or third string players. You know what I'm saying? So they're all in a prove it mode. So yeah, I think quarterbacks are in a prove it mode their first 3 or 4 years, to be fair. You know what I mean? And it's all about how much development an organization puts into a quarterback. Prime example is, okay, they got Malik last year in the 3rd round, who was supposed to be a 1st-round draft pick. They worked with him. He was, during all this time, he looks like this, he looks like that. We get him out there. They get him out there, and they say, okay, he's a little bit behind. He still needs to be developed. All right, now we're moving forward. Six months later, we're drafting a 2nd-round draft pick. So you just hope that, Will Levis comes in, and obviously Malik came in last year doing all the right things, saying all the right things, all of those things that Will Levis is going to do until he has to get on the field. So, obviously he did some good things at Kentucky. Like, I don't even know what type of quarterback he was at Kentucky, because Kentucky didn't win. And when you hear about him, I hear people saying, oh, one year was better than the other because there were injuries. It seems like they're making excuses for performances. And like I say, nothing against Will Levis. This is just what I hear. And at the end of the day, all I know is he had double interceptions, or double picks in his junior and senior year, which means nothing. But, that's why it's always prove it mode.
Keith, how frustrating is that to you, that it just seems like quarterback prospects are always the ones who get the most excuses? Like, Ramon's talked to us about this all the time, where he said, like, as an undrafted guy, it's incredible how many of these dudes are just not great football players, yet are put on a pedestal because of what they could be, right?
Yeah, Bully. I'm always attacking first rounder, man. Yeah, you know where my heart lay, okay?
Hey, nah, I feel you, because it is funny, man, because you see, And like, it's unfortunate for these guys because even like Will Levis, the question we just asked, can he be a starter? It's like, man, can he learn the playbook? Can he learn? And like I said, I don't know anything about him. This is just me just speaking, you know what I mean? So these are all the things, you know, besides becoming a starter, all the things that he has to even grasp. Like, yo, how do I get from my new house to the facility? Like, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I think a lot goes into the quarterback position just because of the hype machine of the NFL. I feel like that's how they keep fans interested. I had an opportunity to play with a first round quarterback in Vince Young, and you know, the media and social media and all those things weren't even at the magnitude that it is now. So I could only imagine. And and he won Rookie of the Year. So, I just feel that it's tough for these young kids that come in. But to be fair to them, too, like they've been doing this since, Elite 11, like all these 7-on-7 camps. And to get more to answer your question, Will, quarterbacks have got to be pampered. They got to be kind of like coddled a little bit because, and Ramon can speak to this more later, I guess. You can put them in a tank, and you don't want to put your quarterbacks in the tank because they'll never come out. And what that means is, I don't know what that means. It just means they're in the tank. They just,
sure.
Yeah, you know sports, Will.
Well, what that means is they'll find another one the next year.
Yeah, because they mentally can't like get out of the place that they were. You know, it was just too much on them. So mentally, they're just like tanked.
Keith, we've been asking guys these last couple of weeks what they remember most about their rookie minicamp experiences with minicamp going on this past week. Is there one thing you remember from your first basically visit to Tennessee as a player?
Yeah, obviously the weather outside was hot.
Yes.
That's exactly what Dyson said as his first answer there, too.
It's like, and I was training in California breeze and everything. It was hot. And Aaron Kenny was our second-round draft pick. Billy Bulluck was our seventh-round quarterback. I just remember Aaron Kenny giving me the business, just mossing me left and right. It was, 6'5", 265, very athletic, just, I was, and then when I watched on film, I was always just like an inch, like football is a game of inches. Well, that whole week I was an inch away, and Greg Williams let me know. So, I kind of had to put some work in. But that's what I'm saying. So off my first mini camp, people were probably scratching their heads like, what's up? Who did we draft?
Keith, did you see, man, as we speak about just the game in general, did you see the NFL ever morphing into this? We had a conversation earlier in our 6 o'clock. We were just speaking about Peacock getting a playoff game exclusively on streaming. Like, we're speaking about them being at the drop of a dime selling the weekend for $110 million. Did you ever imagine coming in when you came in, dog, that we see the NFL be this type of monster?
Not at all, because obviously we didn't realize the business side, but then even like we are fortunate enough to have, 10, 11-year careers and to kind of understand and acknowledge the business side. And I still didn't, and I was on my way out when, Twitter was a thing. I remember my last year with the Titans, we played in Dallas, the first preseason game of the new Jerry World. And, I remember tweeting before that game. And I think that was the last time I tweeted, like during the, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't even know. It was just like, it was crazy. So I can only imagine, obviously the sponsorship dollars, the way that the players are able to make money individually if they wanted to, and just how many entities have come into play in the NFL when before it was just NBC, CBS, and like ESPN.
Right.
So there is Keith Bulluck with us on Ramon, Kayla, and Will telling the story of a preseason game that is the second most memorable preseason game to me in the history of the Tennessee Titans franchise. For me as a young fan.
Oh, yeah?
Most memorable was the Hall of Fame game where they wore the AFL throwbacks against the Bills. And then because Jeff Fisher ran a fake punt in that preseason game that scored a touchdown as they were wearing the Oilers jerseys. That was terrific.
I remember that now, yeah.
Absolutely fantastic. Yeah. But the Cowboys one that Keith mentions there, I definitely remember because A.J. Trapasso was the first punter to hit the new Cowboys Jumbotron with a punt. And so it was preseason that year, and he literally just nailed that thing.
Dog, I was about to say, how the heck you remember
I was
that?
thinking
name?
that too.
Yeah.
But if a guy hits the top of the video board,
It's first
okay,
one.
that's fair then. Well, you're just an endless pit of facts, man.
Preseason facts.
Pit of
Preseason
misery.
facts. Pit of misery?
I'm a pit of misery.
You got to balance
Dilly
that
dilly.
out a little bit better is what you're saying.
Yeah, well,
It's fair. Okay.
it's got me this far.
Yeah.
25 and 3/4 years.
Oh, birthday coming up soon.
It's just July. I don't really care about it. I
You
just
make
thought,
the biggest ordeal about your birthday just so you
well, I won't
know.
even be here.
Trust me, when you get to my age, you really don't care about your birthday.
Yeah,
I
I just
still-
want mine to pass.
I still do.
Huh.
I still care about birthdays.
Kayla's got the big 3-0
Not me.
coming up.
I thought it was 28 this time.
27's my
27.
magic number.
Okay, for
Don't
sure.
get that wrong.
Oh, as long as you're not in the 27 club.
Can I make myself older
Well, I'm here.
than I really am?
No.
No, 'cause
Oh,
then you-
no.
no,
What
because
did he just say? Can I make myself older?
You don't want to do that.
No. Okay.
Yeah, you don't want to do that. You're gonna get to a point and you be like, yeah, this age thing doesn't stop.
You know, we're gonna ride these youth jokes out on you for at least 3 more years. Come on, now.
Train that keeps rolling.
We're gonna get new
God.
contracts out of these youth jokes.
We really are, Will. Like, come on, man. Don't do this to us. Don't grow up.
Benjamin Button.
Can see the look on my face.
Benjamin Button. Yeah, the look in your face says a lot right now. But hey, it's Wednesday and we got a soccer game to go to tonight.
That's
We do have a
right.
soccer game to go to tonight.
First kick by Ramon. I
First
heard.
kick.
Don't do that.
Not
to him.
real. It's not
Don't give him
real.
that.
I like that.
Don't give him that.
Because from you is real. From me, they think I'm lying, okay? From you.
I have to lowercase both of your J's if we keep this up.
Now I kind of want to see it.
It was so
Man,
good.
you ain't handsome.
It was
Damn
so,
sure ain't cute.
it was so good of a drop, Kayla. I was like, you know what? I am doing the first kick.
He's convinced himself of it. now.
Are you going to be in the starting 11?
What?
What position would you play if you played soccer?
Defenseman, frontman.
Defenseman.
You mean defenseman, frontman? Those are two different things.
Are the Preds playing now?
Hey.
Is that what's happening?
Yeah.
Oh, Will, tell
Defenseman.
everybody what he said yesterday about an alert that came on his phone. It was fantastic.
Oh, you were like, hey, did you see our Arsenal alert that just came through?
And
I
Will
was like-
shut him
I
down.
was like, no,
He did.
I didn't. And you're like, well, we got this new news. Like, well, I stream all the sports that I watch, so alerts to my phone spoil a goal or a home run. Like,
This is-
I can't do alerts for any sports because when you watch on a streaming service, then you get alerts after, like, before you've actually seen it happen.
See, this is one of the reasons why I should have went to Tottenham. You understand me? This is why right here, because
Is that
the-
Shapes Club?
Shapes gonna
That's
turn your
Shapes
mind
Club.
off
Okay.
if you're not careful.
That's the smugness of Will and his, like, when I joined this band of soccering,
No,
okay, I said, let me be me in this thing, okay? Did I not, Kayla? You heard
did.
me have that conversation.
Right. It was very thoughtful.
And here I was expecting growth from Will and our relationship about our soccer club, and he shut me down.
I didn't shut you down. I just said I didn't have the alerts on because I never have alerts.
Kayla, did he shut me down?
To the phones. Jeremy is up next on the phone lines this morning. Hello, Jeremy.
What's up, Soccer Jeremy?
Hey, good morning, guys. Will, nobody want to hear you crying about wanting to make yourself older. That makes you sound like you're more like a little kid. That's something kids say in high school about they want to get older so they can't wait to buy beers and cigarettes.
Beers and
You start
cigarettes.
getting older. You get older, man. Things start hurting when you don't even know why they hurt. Like they get bruised and things like that. You look around like, what happened? You don't want to get older, man.
Yeah,
Pump the brakes on that one. You
yeah,
don't have a good one.
you too.
It's okay. I still do.
He ain't
I
lying.
woke up this morning and I'm like, why does my left hip hurt?
Yeah.
What happened to my
God.
right
Yeah.
knee? All I did was go to bed.
See, the thing is, though, you know me, Shafe, and you know that I've already had those pains just from how much I ran.
That's actually true.
So that's the thing is
That's
that I
fair.
don't care about being older. Is because
You're hurting.
my like hips and joints are like a 65 years
yeah,
old.
your body's already old and busted.
Yeah, that's right.
But Kayla, that's why you be saying like you hope the Titans don't go in the bubble for practice. Like if I stood around in that practice at the bubble,
I know.
What's actually funny is
Yankee.
who's got the more busted up body, Will or Ramon?
well, at
still
this
you.
point,
Great
I don't know.
question. I'm totally out of this one.
I feel
Still you.
somewhat good about it. And Will pops his back, and it sounds like he's shuffling cards.
Oh, it sounds
true.
awful.
That I don't know how you do that. Does it
and
hurt?
his hip.
No, feels great.
It doesn't.
actually.
Oh, because it's releasing air, right?
or like cartilage.
Yeah, yeah.
I can't sleep until I pop my back, like both.
right.
Like I like one leg and then another leg and then
Y'all
both my
gotta hear
ankles.
Things don't pop
Yeah,
on me.
when Will
you
pops
do
his
yoga.
back, when Will pops his back, it sounds like someone's shaking a rattle.
It's great.
It does, man. Go to break.
615-737-1045 is the number. Coming up next, how two new Titans formed a very unique relationship upon coming into Middle Tennessee. That's next on 1045 The Zone.
Hey, everybody. It is Kayla and Ramon from Window Nation, and we've got some really amazing news for you this morning. Maybe you're thinking about investing in something long-term that in the long run will give you some money back, save you some money. Well, you can modernize and reinvest in your home today with new windows from Window Nation, all with their best deal of the year. Get this, people. We got 0% financing for 5 years. Yes, it's pretty much unheard of. 0 interest for 5 years. On top of that, Window Nation is going to give you 2 free windows with every 2 you buy. So you can protect and increase the value of your home starting today. Make sure you check them out at windownation.com.
Kayla, what's so crazy is house buying has somewhat slowed down because of those interest rates. So why not reinvest in your house with windows with 0% interest for 5 years, Kayla? That is by far the best deal going anywhere. Save up to 30% on your energy bills. Increase the value of your home by up to $12,000 so you don't have to buy a new house, okay? And then Window Nation has installed nearly 2 million windows with a 96% perfection, making them one of the top window companies in the country. Best thing you can do is call Window Nation right now at 866-90-NATION or go online to windownation.com.
Continuing your Wednesday morning here on Ramon, Kayla, and Will, powered by All Four Seasons Garage Doors. With Ramon Foster and Kayla Anderson, I'm Will Bowling. Sean Murphy Bunting and Azeez Al-Shaair quickly formed a connection as new Tennessee Titans, and not in the way you might have expected. Azeez Al-Shaair met with the media, as did Sean Murphy Bunting yesterday. And Sean, it was just a great listen to begin with. And said a lot of good stuff. Talked about the way he met Azeez on the plane into Nashville. This is pretty good stuff from him yesterday.
Actually, yeah. So he actually was in first class, and I should have took his seat. Actually, that's what I should have. No, but he was in first class, and he came. He said, "I'm gonna sit with you," and he pretty much asked the flight attendant if he could sit there, and I think she said yes. I'm not really sure. He'd be able to tell you that, but yeah, and we sat there and we talked the whole flight back, and I don't think we put out our phones one time, and we just talked about life. We talked about, the experiences that we've been through throughout the NFL. We talked about relationships we had with people, and just, we dealt with similar injuries as far as upper body extremities. So, we had things to talk about in that regard of what I can do to help mine and what he can do and stuff like that. So it's just been constant feedback, but it's been more of a relationship built. I feel like he's a brother, and I haven't even played with him yet or been around him enough yet. So it's just real, it's real. So
there he is, Sean Murphy Bunting, on his friendship with Azeez Al-Shaair.
Yeah.
That's good when guys, that play alpha-like sports are the best at their position or the best in the world, have the ability to sit down and have conversation, get to know each other. That's one thing I will say, especially about football players. We have an ego about ourselves and we just think everything revolves around us at times when we meet other players like that, or you're afraid to kind of say stuff or be, I've heard more good stuff about me from other people hearing stuff from other folks and people have actually said to me. You see what I'm saying? So for those guys to get on the plane, know that, look, we're about to be teammates and I think they're from the same area, like-minded type guys, have very similar roles and scenarios they've been through as pros, that is phenomenal. If for anything, that carries over into the locker room.
Yeah.
You have those guys knowing that, look, if you say something, I'm going to ride with you because we already got that bond right there. These signings we didn't think were just over the top, just news breaking, right? But this is what you want when you're trying to get a team that's actually trying to just win games and play football a certain type of way. That's what it sounds like to me. I enjoy having guys be able to have a conversation. No phones?
No phones.
Music?
That's incredible on a whole flight. First and foremost, let me just put this out here. The guys that they picked up in free agency in terms of being people who have jumped right into the media, who they don't even know, the questions that are coming at them that, we don't really know them yet either. I've been so impressed by Azeez, but then Sean Murphy Bunting yesterday, we were blown away just in terms of how he spoke.
Yeah.
The way he, kind of talked about things with openness and just relatability, I guess. And so when he told that story specifically, it was funny because Azeez was right in the back of the press conference. And you could tell that they were kind of laughing and, Azeez was kind of joking around when he was telling that story. And I just thought it was cool that they're able to share that unique bond, both coming from smaller schools, FAU with Azeez, Central Michigan with Sean Murphy Bunting.
Yeah.
And now they're in a spot where they're now set to possibly make a name for themselves with the Titans because that is the opportunity that they have, that maybe they haven't had that yet in their NFL careers before. And I think they both get that, and they both kind of feel like this could be a really good place. But to build that bond and to do it now before the season even starts, those stories are priceless.
They're going into a new locker room. You just need one friend. You know what I'm saying? Like one person you notice in your corner. It seems like they found each other. That's awesome.
Coming up next, the big headline from Titans media availability yesterday was what Treylon Burks had to say. The context around feeling faster and being able to breathe 1 year removed from a not so hot start as a Tennessee Titan. We hear from Treylon Burks coming up next as Hour 2 gets underway on a Wednesday morning here on Ramon, Kayla, and Will, 104.5 The Zone.
Genesis Diamonds never hesitate to expose other jewelers with high markups and lackluster warranties. The founder of Genesis Diamonds started the company with the determination to turn the whole retail jewelry business upside down with fair and transparent pricing, ironclad warranties, no commission salespeople, and zero-risk shopping experience. Most recently, Genesis has exposed insane markups on lab-grown diamonds at other jewelry stores. Some jewelers are making obscene profits on lab-grown diamonds, so don't buy until you get a second opinion from Genesis. Genesis can often sell you the same lab-grown stone for 50 or even 60% less than what some other stores are charging you. The bottom line, Genesis is not like other stores. They always put the customers first because they are playing the long game and building trusting relationships. If you're getting engaged or married or celebrating a big milestone soon, Genesis is the place to go to. Rings, earrings, bands, bracelets, colored gemstone, exquisite diamond, designer jewelry, hand-picked diamonds. They've got what you want at a price you can have confidence in. Genesis Diamonds and luxury pre-owned Rolexes too, located in Green Hills and Cool Springs.
7 o'clock. Good morning. I'm Jonathan Schaefer from the Superbook.com sports desk. Several Titans veterans met with the media yesterday at Ascension St. Thomas Sports Park. Wide receiver Treylon Burks spoke about his offseason preparations, his expectations going into his second season, and much more.
I mean, I feel great. Running fast, not having any problems with breathing, and really just having fun, man. I'm in a good place, state of mind, and I'm just thankful.
To the association, Nuggets 132, Lakers 126. Nikola Jokic went 34, 21, and 14 in the Game 1 victory in Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals. Eastern Conference Finals start tonight. Miami at Boston. 7:30 will be the tip. The San Antonio Spurs won the NBA draft lottery. It'll allow them to draft the French sensation Victor Wembanyama. Major League Baseball, the Rangers beat the Braves 7-4. College baseball, Tennessee defeated Belmont 9-5 in their final regular season home game. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5, The Zone.
$7 a.m. in Nashville, Tennessee. Happy Wednesday to the Music City and beyond. Here is another hour of Ramon, Kayla, and Will. Hot off the press for you with Ramon Foster, Kayla Anderson, Jonathan Schaefer behind the glass, creating the violence,
in the world.
pushing all the buttons, including ours. My name is Will Bowling.
His
Coming
name
up
is Will Bowling.
after this song. We've got Mike Wilson at 8:20 this morning. We'll talk Tennessee with him as the SEC baseball season transitions into its
baseball what?
final weekend. Baseball season.
The season?
Season.
You said the season.
I said season.
No, you didn't.
I said season.
You did not.
He didn't.
Rhett Bryan at 9 a.m. this morning. And Inky Johnson as we finish off the show.
Words are hard, man.
Yeah, season.
Yeah, we all mess up. It's fine.
Words are hard.
I'm not going
That's
to
all.
demerit you for it. It was such a season.
Thought you would have, but okay. Either.
That is a demerit.
I'm going to demerit you for telling me how to demerit people.
Ha!
Oh, wait.
That is a demerit.
You get a demerit
Did he just say
for
ha?
then responding to that.
I don't accept. I do
I
not
do
accept.
not accept.
You have no choice.
Don't accept.
Schaefer's put it in his data bank back there. How many demerits does Will have? 2?
2 right there. You've got one.
What do I got this morning?
No, I don't have
0 at the moment.
Uh-oh.
No, you're good.
No, I did have one, but we couldn't mention it.
Well, we're gonna.
Uh-oh.
That's we're. No.
Inbreak,
Okay, all
Will.
I don't know what that means.
Kayla said, and Kayla said something earlier in the show
I don't know.
that could have taken the show in a very different direction.
Oh, lovely.
So
But
instead,
we were professionals. There we
Yeah.
go. Get it out. There's my demerit.
there, yeah,
it is.
no, that's fine. But instead of going in the direction of
That's what she said.
or
Phrasing.
we just kept going.
We did a cool drive by.
That's right.
That's
That was
all we
fine.
did. Just a hey, how y'all doing?
I mean, because at the end of the day,
That's got to be racist.
That's always one.
that's right.
That's all.
That's
Anyway, Treylon Burks says he feels a lot faster this time around than he did a year ago.
That's not demerit.
And here's what Treylon Burks had to say. You just heard it from Jonathan Schaefer's update. Worth highlighting what the improvements he's made are since this time last year.
I honestly would say it gives me a lot of confidence because I'm not coming in off another offense, knowing just being, I would say, clueless coming in as a rookie like I was last year. And just actually being around the coaches this whole offseason, studying with them, figuring out what they want me to do, and really just being on top of my game.
There's Treylon Burks.
Good.
Yep.
Good. A guy that you know what was even better is a bigger conversation behind that. Where'd you train, Treylon? Here. What'd you do? I was around. He worked on the things that he needed to work on to be a better pro. Their year 1 to year 2 gap is what he's trying to close down right now, or make a leap is what I should be saying. And this is in front of everybody. I don't care what sports you play. I don't care if you're swimming, gymnastics, pitching, hitting, football, basketball, soccer, no matter what. Physical conditioning precedes anything else. It's preached to you. If you're tired, you're useless. If you're tired, we have no use for you. You're hurting us. Your physical conditioning, which is what he spoke about, precedes anything else that you're doing. I don't care how strong you are. A dude can lift 550 pounds 10 times off his chest. But if he can't keep up with me and I'm running side to side on him, guess what? That 550 means nothing. You got to have cardio. You got to have cardio. I never had that issue whenever I played and beat teams, okay? So that right there, physical conditioning precedes anything else. I'm glad he learned that. Whether that was him coming from Arkansas and the pollen being a little bit different, Kayla,
it's different here. Let's just put that out there. The allergies.
But
it's different.
The conditioning aspect of being a pro, an amateur, means more than anything else. And I'm glad he just said, "No, I was here.
Yep.
Why would I go anywhere else? They need to see me working. They need to see me be pushed and know that, look, I'm all in on all things Titans and myself." Like, that's what I got from it, too. It's like, man, I want this for me.
Yeah. I was so impressed with the growth I saw out of Treylon, just in terms of how he spoke, the confidence he spoke with. That's different from last year. Look, last year, like he said, he came in just having to learn everything, being kind of thrown into the fire as that number one guy, being, the allergy thing, whether it be the asthma or the turf toe or whatever it was. There was a lot going on last year. And I feel like for the most part, he handled that very well. But the growth that I saw just when he stepped up to that podium and he spoke and was very just forthcoming about everything, I was really impressed by that, you guys, because I feel like he's settled down and he knows what the job is and he knows the seriousness of the position that he's in, and he's been doing the work in the offseason to get to that point. And I thought he said a lot of good stuff. I thought he said a lot of fascinating stuff. I know we'll touch on some of that in a minute. But I also thought it was interesting when he mentioned, I asked about Tim Kelly and specifically working with him. And he said, honestly, he kind of was my mentor last year. And so I really love to see that and hear that, because I see that relationship only building this year while he's now your OC.
Yeah.
Well, I'll get to that quote in just a minute, but I do think it's important if this team wants to be more up-tempo and play at a quicker pace, you've got to be even more conditioned in order to do that. Mm-hmm. If you're a 4.4 guy that's working at about 70% fitness, you're running about a 4.7 or 4.8.
Come on, man.
We talk about the speed of the 40-yard dash and what your top speed is. If you're not conditioned, you're not running that top speed. Not at the end of a game.
And it sucks, too, to get in shape like that. Does it not, Will? Like those times of having to break down and, gosh, I'm tired. Well, be tired to get whooped. Which one you want?
Sure. And there are some guys, I know you could probably name these people just like I could in college. There are some dudes that could come back from summer practice and from conditioning having done nothing. Mm-hmm. They would have 1 week of feeling terrible, and then they were good to go. And those people made me sick. Yeah. Those people legitimately, my high school coach told me when I graduated, he was like, Will, you're going to work really hard in the summers. And I could have done more. Like, that's part of the reason I got hurt. But they're like, you're going to work hard, but there are going to be guys that don't run a step for the first month of the offseason. And they're going to be fit. And then the next week, they're going to be good to go. Yep. I imagine the beginning of an NFL career is learning what your threshold is for being in shape and for being ready for an NFL training camp versus a college training camp. Yes. Because you never get to turn off in an NFL training camp like you can at the end of meetings in college when you only have 20 hours a week.
Yeah. And it was really used yesterday a lot, guys, that Vrabel has been putting into their minds. It's about building a callus, not a blister, right? So you're working and working and building. It is. It's the coach. I can pick out everything from that press conference that Vrabel has inserted into this offseason.
So it would be collaborative calluses then, if we're going to put all the buzzwords together?
Instead of good to great, they're doing blister to callus.
Hey.
Mm-hmm.
And that's going to be a hashtag by the end of the show.
There we go.
As we're having this conversation, on cue, my trainer who trained me while I was here texts me. And I can't tell you exactly what he says, but he says, we ain't here to be tired or getting whooped, and he sends all kind of other words behind that. So, James, you're 100% right, and I hated you every moment of it. But
That's got to be racist.
yeah, man, we ain't here to be tired and get whooped.
That's
but
pretty good.
That does, Will. That makes a difference. Like that can, and it ain't fair. The dude, you know who bothered me the most, man? Not even bothered me because I know he trained his butt off. A VFL, Cam Sutton.
Really?
In a phenomenal way. Like we be doing our conditioning test, and Cam is just running like he's not even breathing. Like even the coaches was like, what's going on with Cam? Like legitimately, like dude would run those sprints that we had in the conditioning test, and you just marvel at it, just like, I wish I can run just flawlessly like that and not get tired. He wasn't breathing, man, but he was every day at practice.
Yep.
The conditioning and sharpness of his mind is what also gets you to like in really good condition. Like if you can push yourself to train beyond all measures, your brain sharpens up a little bit more. It ain't much I can't do. I done been through this before. One more rep? Okay, cool. Let's knock this out. That's also one more rep on the field I have to take. A Treylon where he feel like he want to tap his helmet to come out. To your point, if he's that level of condition this year, Will, he can take that step we're looking for.
And now we need to see it.
Yep.
There we go.
You told us, show us.
There we go.
And I don't just want to see Treylon Burks be on the field and feeling good. I want him to play well.
Mm-hmm.
I want him to catch the football. You got a lot of really well-conditioned players in the NFL who aren't good at catching footballs. All right?
True.
Okay, but we've got to now take a step here, Treylon. If you're going to be the number one wide receiver and you're going to say all the right things, then, that's... You got to back it up on the field.
Charles Davis, what do you think about Treylon Burks?
I tell you what, okay, Treylon Burks is first-round talent. Okay, he's got upside. Coming from University of Arkansas, Sam Pittman raves about this guy, and you can see why. Turn on the film. He's a weapon, man. I tell you what. Okay, he's got wide receiver one potential. Mike Vrabel, hey, buddy, you show up on time. You show up and you're conditioned. Hey, he's going to get something out of you, okay? That's why he was NFL Coach of the Year just a couple of years ago. Okay, 615-737-1045. If you want to call in on this radio program, Ramon, Kayla, and Will.
Rand Carthon would like to comment on this too.
And we went into the offseason. I had a conversation with Treylon about what our expectation of his was for our team, the Tennessee Titans. And I somewhat said to him, I said, look, if you want to be the pro that you think you're going to be, then we got to collaborate on your conditioning in the offseason.
Do the callus
And
thing.
what I mean by that is, look, we need to see you. You need to see us. And we got to build that callus together. We got to rub together. We got to hit the ground running. Treylon, you're my guy.
My goodness.
And it's on site when I see you, Ramon.
615-737-1045.
We need to make this happen.
What Treylon Burks had to say about Tim Kelly and the changes to the offense. And the quote that I found most interesting from all the players who talked yesterday didn't come from Treylon Burks. It came from Azeez Al-Shire. And I'll explain to you why coming up next, right here on Ramon, Kayla, and Will, 104.5 The Zone. Hey, it's Will Bowling. You've heard me talk about how Lee Company is all you need for your home. Well, they're also all you need for your facility. Lee Company does it all for you, and their expert technicians on the facilities team have you covered, not just for HVAC, but they've got your plumbing and electrical covered as well. From healthcare facilities to industrial, everything in between, Lee Company is available 24/7, 365 to keep your building running efficiently. I know that's music to your ears if you're a facility manager out there listening to us right now. So call Lee Company today at 615-567-1000. Get that 24/7 Lee Company support on your side. You can contact them online at leecompany.com as well. And it's not just HVAC, it's the plumbing, it's electrical, it's whatever you need, whether you're in healthcare, industrial, anything in between. Lee Company is all you need for your facility. 615-567-1000. That's the number to call. Online at leecompany.com. That's Lee Company, all you need. It's Ramon, Kalen, Will, powered by All Four Seasons Garage Doors here on 104.5 The Zone. Low. Give you more sound from yesterday's media availability as Titans veterans are in Nashville for OTAs. 615-737-1045 if you would like to jump in on the conversation. I want to start with Treylon Burks on the differences under Tim Kelly in the new offense. I'm fascinated by what these players are willing to volunteer to us because the tempo aspect of it intrigues me. This was Treylon Burks on Tim Kelly yesterday.
Man, he was a great guy. I would just say last year he was one of the ones that mentored me, helping me learn the offense last year. And just him being the OC now just makes it even better because we already had that connection. And so when it's something new, he's always on top of me, making sure that I got every detail that I need to know about the full concept of the play. And, he does a great job with explaining and just making sure he gets his point across.
So I'll be totally honest with you. That, to me, might be more meaningful than the previous quote we played of Treylon talking about being faster and feeling more in shape.
Yep.
We don't have evidence for that yet. That, though, is interesting, that he is saying, hey, Tim Kelly and I have had a connection ever since I got here.
Yeah.
And now that he's the guy in charge, it feels like I've got a place in this offense. I think that's noteworthy.
And for me personally, hearing that, we understand now what Tim Kelly's role was last year, too.
Yes.
He was an out-of-the-way coach to help guide young guys they knew that was going to be capable of making plays for him. Him saying they had that connection last year. Tim, devote your time to making sure that he's on top of it. There's little quirks you can help him out with. Perfect. Just so happened, now Tim Kelly has the job. To me, I think it is, Will, as you said, phenomenal. Like the up-tempo-ness that we're hearing about with this offense when and although this guy was twerking on social media this past weekend, Todd Haley. Like hearing when he heard he was getting hired and why he was being hired, protect the quarterback was the number one conversation. Protect the quarterback, going to be quick routes, but it's going to be deep plays, and we're going to play with tempo. As a player, that was exciting. It was kind of, confusing because you didn't know which one you were going to specialize in, but we did all of those things. And when you have a guy that has a plan, that knows how to communicate, which is what Treylon is saying, knows how to communicate, and we hopefully get some execution out of these plays and this tempo and this new style, I think it's phenomenal because that's one thing. Running the ball is fine. Right? The way the Titans play ball, the pace in which they go could be moved up a little bit.
Yeah.
It could, and I think that's what we're actually seeing or what we're hearing. The pace of it, right?
Right. And that's what has been, nuggets have been dropped with our two press conferences, the availability we've had in the last month with these guys. Those are the nuggets that have been dropped. Because, yes, Daniel Brunskill even said, hey, look, we're a physical team. We like to run the ball, but had spoke about some of that up-tempo stuff. And then Treylon Burks specifically threw some nuggets in about, hey, this offense is tweaked a little bit, and even mentioned his old offensive coordinator at Arkansas. He kind of felt like it was the Kendall Briles type of offense early on in his time in Arkansas, that there was some things mixed in there that he was used to. So I think it's interesting, like Will was saying, we're not going to see a whole overload of the offense, but we're definitely going to see some tweaks, I think. And they're inserting it now.
Yes, 100%. Like the pace, I think, is what bothered people because we got to wait 3 plays for you to go 5 yards.
Yeah.
Like, no, put that pressure back on them. If you know you line up in those 2 tight end sets with a fullback and they're stacking the box, well, put pressure on them. Make them line up a little bit, motion a little bit more. Like, do I think it's going to be an entirely new style of offense? I don't think that's possible because the personnel is what you have in-house, right? Derek is here, Treylon is here, Tannehill is here, right? As far as the guys that's got to get the ball in their hand.
Yep.
The way I look at it now, put pressure on the other side. That's all they've been yelling as of late.
And I feel like the kinds of players the Titans have lends itself well to playing that style. And what I mean by that is you have a bunch of younger players who aren't quite as experienced, who are on prove-it deals.
Yes.
Who are more motivated to play a more grinded-out, up-tempo, aggressive style of football. I want the Titans' offense to match the level of aggressiveness we hear Mike Vrabel preach so much on the defensive side of the ball. Yeah. And I'm starting to get the vibe that the new guys that they've brought in are going to buy into that level of thinking, into that way of playing this game. Azeez Al-Shire had some interesting things to say about why Titans practices are so unique and how it's kind of like college in a way, but it's not, because he basically explains why Titans OTAs are as challenging as any practice he's been through in his NFL career. Here's Azeez Al-Shaair with, I think, what is a long yet insightful quote on Titans practice operation under Mike Vrabel.
Sean kind of put it in the best perspective. It's different. It's different than anything I've done. I can't even really compare it to college, but I feel like maybe in the sense of like just the workload, it kind of reminds you a little bit of how you are like as a freshman coming into college, and you're like, what the hell is going on? They got you doing 5 a.m. workouts. This isn't college, obviously, but it's just like things that usually you get to the pros, and it's a lot more like, hey, man, we're going to make sure we keep you healthy, strength staff and stuff like that. Their biggest thing is like, the head coach gave the strength staff the keys to the car. Don't crash the car. Like, make sure the car makes it. So, I understand that because you're dealing with guys, Sean just talked about playing with Tom Brady. He's old enough, to be some people's dad. So it's like you have to adjust. But I know, like, we're doing the sleds, and I'm seeing Ryan, who's 35, 36, whatever he is now. He played 12 years in this league, and he's doing the same thing I'm doing, falling out on the floor, everything. I'm like, I'm seeing him come back in the locker room. I'm like, Ryan, I know you weren't doing what we were just doing. I'm like, yeah. So, it's just like a different mentality. And then, you just understand how it can translate. And you're like, okay, dang, like I remember playing in 2021 when we came here when I was in San Francisco on a Thursday night. Half the roster was down. Like, they don't think they had any offensive lineman. The very last offensive lineman on the team was up, who was from practice squad. And they still came in and we came here and they had beat us. And you're just like, how? Like, well, this is how. Now I'm seeing it. Being on the other side of it, you get to experience, like, all the work that was put in to get to those Sundays. So,
yeah.
If you ever wondered what a Mike Vrabel player sounded like, it sounds like that.
Mm-hmm.
Because Azeez Al-Shaair is explaining why not only does he notice the extra work that's going in for this team and the fact that Ryan Tannehill's pushing a sled next to the linebackers and next to the edge rushers, but that they like it.
Mm-hmm.
That's the difference between being a Tennessee Titan or playing somewhere else. Wherever you go, Ramon, I would imagine that you're going to do what the coach tells you to do. If you're at OTAs, you're there to work, you're there to get stuff done. But it seems like Titans players go the extra step and they enjoy it. They pride themselves on, this is what makes us the organization that we are. It's the not so pretty stuff that everyone on this team is involved in. How unique is that? Based on what you just heard Azeez say right there.
It's unique, but it's all a part of the bigger plan to me. I think this right here sets them up for training camp and the expectation of what training camp is going to be. Frank Periano, is that how you say his name, Periano?
I think it's Periano.
Periano is their strength and conditioning coach, along with Brian Bell and Tyler Rouse also. Those are the guys. You look at them in their pictures, all of them thick-neck dudes, okay? You look at them, every single one of them look like they'll fight you in a bar. Mm-hmm. But you want to be able to have a level, a baseline to where you say, this is how we do stuff. This is the expectation. When we leave here and come back, this is what it's going to be and how we need to operate. What I say to this, it is two sides to this. He's right. You have some strength and conditioning coaches that are, hey, injury prevention. It's my job to keep you on the field. You heard him kind of say that a little bit. It's like, man, it's a little bit different. And then there's some that will teeter the line a little bit and kind of go at the players to push them over the edge to say, hey, no, we're going to be pros and we got to condition this way. I've always told you guys we had one of the hardest training camps around. Mm-hmm. At least I thought that and was told by other teams. Well, for that reasons, though, Will, Kayla, listeners, it's because we was going to play a brutal style of football, too.
Right.
Sure.
And this is what you're getting out of this team, hopefully moving forward. There was changes to the strength and conditioning staff. Was Periano elevated last year or not? Either way, we'll fill those. But this was also part of the conversation in the offseason. Why do we have so many soft tissues? Why do we have so many?
Right.
Well, sometimes you got to go do Olympic lifting, sled pushes, like free weights, power cleaning. That's what you're getting out of it.
Frank Periano's in his 4th season with the Titans. His first year, thoh, as the director of sports performance. So this is his first year in charge.
And
there we go.
That's what I took from it, because not just did Azeez
Al-Shaair.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I need to get that down. not just did he say that, I mean, it was Sean Murphy Bunting that said that. It was Daniel Brunskill that mentioned, the sleds. That was like a big highlight is the sleds. And everybody was just like accentuating the fact that they loved the sled drill, even though it was hard as heck. But I think part of this transformation in the offseason, the workouts, has been, preventative too. Like, what are we going to do to change this so that we're not going to be having these injuries? And I think that was actually, Will, part of the callous mentality more so, that they're trying to build that so that it doesn't break down, right? And like a blister does, it just pops easily. I think that was kind of more so what they were using that analogy as, which makes sense in the way that they're doing these workouts.
Well, and that's the other part of the quote that I thought was even more interesting is Mike Vrabel giving the strength coach the keys to not crash the car.
Right.
A lot of cars got crashed the past 2 years. A lot of cars ended up in the shop on the injured reserve before the season was over. So there has to be a balance here because
there will be.
You can't work guys too hard as well on the practice field, which I think is probably something the Titans have done a little bit the past 2 years.
What if you're getting more here and a little bit less on the practice field with the banging too? Like our sports and conditioning trainer, he didn't really dog us out in the runs. Like our conditioning test was strides. If I can be real with you, they were 110 strides is what we would do.
Those feel so good.
Oh my gosh, lifting, but you had a time to the strides turned into a sprint too. God, I know those dudes. I know. But what you're looking at is this though. Ours was more injury prevention. Like hey, if you can't do 405, 385, stay there. Stay there. There's no need to go any further because if he gets you injured and you can't perform, then that's his job. But what happened was coach's control was on the field. We going to be physical. We going to harden ourselves. Like we used to say that. Like I remember going into camp and be like, man, my forearms got to get hard. You know what I'm saying? Like my hands got to get conditioned. My legs got to get conditioned. That is a part of it too. So maybe we see a pullback in training camps and how they go about those practices. Again, for all the people, including myself, as we all criticized last year, the soft tissue, the injuries, how do we keep everybody healthy? Why is everybody healthy? It seems like now they're being more proactive in their approach to actually getting answers to this or getting guys a better baseline into what they should be doing. You're right, Will. Yep. You can't drive the car 90 miles per hour in a 45 and hit a corner and not expect it to go crazy. Like, you do got to slow it down at some point. But for the criticism they've received, it seems like they're getting out in front of it now.
Yep.
Well, they have to because we have enough evidence now of other players going away from the Titans organization who were always hurt here, who were not hurt other places.
Yep.
Starting with A.J. Brown, who you didn't bring back because he wasn't available enough, and you felt like he had injuries that were never going to let him be 100% late in his career.
Yeah.
Was the biggest reason why he became a Philadelphia Eagle and did not continue to be a Tennessee Titan.
Sure. Even a guy like Roger Saffold, who is older, right?
Roger's the big one for me. And I think he was banged up late in the season, but got through pretty much the whole year scot-free.
Yeah, he did. I think the neck issue I think he had, they handled it well enough, but I was also told by guys like, look, we go hard in practice. Like it's chill, but everything is up tempo from that moment. So we'll see how training camp looks this year if we get our eyes on them and how they adjust to ramping it up now and dialing back later because you'll tire out too.
Sure.
But for the ones that have questions about why he said they're training so hard, there's one guy on social media either a lot of people have seen or a lot of people admire the work he's done. And I even myself be like, God, why are you doing so much? But James Harrison.
Oh, yeah.
The way he lifts, never really had an injury.
That's crazy.
You know what I'm saying? Like not a serious one when it came to soft tissue stuff. That preconditioning gets you through the season.
That's a good point.
Yep.
615-737-1045 is the number if you want to jump in. We go to Brandon up next on the phone lines here this morning. What's up, Brandon?
Morning, Brandon.
What's going on, guys? How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing great. I've got a two-part question. So the first part that I have, because I've been wanting to call for a couple weeks just to ask this because I'm really curious. The Kevin Byard situation, I'm not real sure what's going on there. Like, are we going to be able to keep him this year, or is he under contract through the rest of this year, and then would he be a free agent next year? or would we possibly trade him this year? That's the first part. And the second part is, this is for you, Ramon, because you were a player for the NFL. So whenever you're down in the trenches and the crowd is so loud, what do you do to clear the distractions to be able to concentrate on the play, or what do you do when you're in the trenches, like clearing the mechanism, like for the love of the game, like you know what I mean?
Yeah,
You
no
get what
doubt. Great question. Great question.
And I'll hang up and listen to you guys.
Thanks, Brandon. I'll go that one first, Will,
Yeah.
if you need to look up buyer stuff or not. But
Well, I mean, I've got his contract up.
What you do is you focus on the mouths moving in front of you. Nothing else matters. Like that level of concentration, Brandon, is by far some of the highest that you'll ever see. Like you don't really hear the crowd because you're so focused in on the guy across from you or the players next to you and what they got to be doing. So it really is. Gosh, I wish they would do a helmet view sometimes.
But how long did it take you to get into that mind frame?
High school, just being real.
So it's just part of the game since you were young.
Some of those you don't hear the crowd conversation. Like going to Seattle, I did notice it.
You bet you did.
I did notice it. New Orleans, I did notice it. But the hyper focus of not getting embarrassed, like pride takes over. You say, we're playing a team game, but individually, this ain't going to affect me today. And that's the way you got to approach it, Brandon. Like, it does shut out a little bit more than you actually think.
For Kevin Byard, I think everything's on the table. He's under contract for 2 more seasons. And actually, he's got void years for 2025 and 2026. So right now would be a free agent in 2025 after the next 2 seasons, an unrestricted free agent. I think right now it's safe to assume that he's not there at OTAs. I think we would have heard from him if he was.
Yep.
And at this point, I'm leaning towards he plays for the Titans this season, but we don't see him until training camp.
I'm with you, Will.
We don't see him until we absolutely have to contractually, until there's a mandatory workout for him to be here for.
It's been pretty quiet on the KB front. I'll be honest. I've been covering him for the last, 6 seasons, and there's always usually a little bit that you see from Kevin in the offseason, whether it be on social. And I know he had his foundation, his nonprofit event. Yeah. But other than that, he hasn't been showing any training stuff. We haven't heard much from the guys in terms of, hey, I've talked to KB. So I think for his, own doing, he wants to just kind of keep it hush-hush right now. And then I do believe he'll play for them, but it's probably not going to be till the last.
And as it shows too, Will, there's no workout bonus in his contract or nothing like that. So he has no reason to show up either.
Right. Coming up, another opportunity for you to join us coming up tonight at Geodis Park. We'll tell you where to buy tickets and what the bundle includes if you would like to roll the dice and come out on a Wednesday. Have a good time on a school night. We'll give you details on that coming up next. Simone, Kalen, and Will, 104.5 The Zone.
When Two Rivers Ford opened their doors 40 years ago, they made it their mission to sell their vehicles for the best price possible, and that promise has been kept for 4 decades. Two Rivers Ford sell all their new non-specialty Fords well below MSRP, and they have great financing rates too, like 2.9% for 60 months right now on the Explorer and Expedition. Two Rivers Ford is always upfront and honest about their pricing. They'll make sure you get all the discounts available to you, things like military discounts and student discounts. And the Two Rivers Ford non-commissioned sales team will make sure that you get all your questions answered and that you're fully armed with the information you need to make a buying decision. It's all about you and your experience, and that's the way it's been since 1983. No matter how you like to shop, Two Rivers Ford is there to make buying a vehicle fun. Yes, fun. And when when you do business with Two Rivers Ford, you can feel good about doing business with the local company that supports our community. Locally owned for 40 years, the best price possible, non-commissioned salespeople, and a fast, easy, and fun buying experience. Two Rivers Ford, powered by Ford, driven by people.
Wednesday morning edition of Ramon, Kayla, and Will, and it's powered by All Four Seasons Garage Doors. We'll talk some Vols coming up in hour 3 with Mike Wilson, one of our favorites, one of our finest. Will join us at 8:20. We've got the two friends on the beat, or frenemies, I should say, between Mike and Grant, both in 1 week. Grant told us he is the embodiment of Monday mornings. I wonder what weekday Mike thinks he is. I think Mike is like a Thursday.
He's a Thursday.
He's not too energetic for a Friday, but he's also not, down in the dumps. He's a good amount of solid energy. He's a Thursday.
Yeah, I'm cool with that. Thursdays are good days, man.
It's a good day to be.
You know why Thursdays are good days for me? Well, I always resonated as good days because I found out my mom's pay cycle.
Oh my gosh.
Mom got paid on Thursdays.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Homie's just being real about it.
I'm just being real. Thursday. And then, of course, Friday, Thursday meant she got paid on Thursday. Mean we may have a chance of getting like pizza on Friday.
That's what I was going to say. Something like
you feel me?
Nice dinner.
But if the old man got a check like on a Friday and go and deposit that, I'm like, we get to go to the Arby's tonight?
Oh, yeah.
No,
we
have the meats.
Will, I'm not kidding.
Oh,
man.
I believe you.
For real. Like it's certain childhood stuff that just gets you like.
My sister was a waitress at nearby Pizza Huts for years, well over a decade. I mean, my entire childhood is Pizza Hut and Book It.
And yes, Pizza Hut had waitresses back in the day.
Oh, yeah. And the tabletop Pac-Man.
I remember
Yes.
And the greatest restaurant glasses of all time that we've
the
all
red
stolen.
ones?
We've all stolen
Yep.
those glasses.
I still have one.
Mazatlan and Brentwood still has
But
that.
I mean,
that
when-
is a free
Oh.
shout out. I'll always
But
get.
I mean,
Nice.
when my sister would stop by the house with pizza that they had left over, oh my God.
It's
Right.
the Coca-Cola red glasses.
Yeah.
Soft drinks
Love
taste better out of Coca-Cola red plastic.
They
cups.
really do.
100%.
It's funny. I had a homeboy, mine just texted me talking about the Thursday paycheck. He was like, "That's some real stuff right there."
That's it.
It sticks with you
Yeah.
throughout your childhood, and now you're what? A grown man.
Yeah, looking forward to Thursdays.
I'm
man.
almost 42 years old, and I would still kill for that leftover pizza
Yeah.
from Pizza Hut from my youth.
It was different.
Fair or
It
foul?
just tasted better.
Fair or foul? Cold pizza for breakfast.
Fair. That's
I
totally
can
fine.
do that
Yeah.
once in a while.
Big
I'm
foul.
bougie. Call me
so we're-
bougie.
I can
we're
do it if
2-2
I'm
here?
hungover.
Yeah, no.
I'm glad
foul.
somebody's on my side.
Yeah.
Or some on my side here. Thank
I
you.
was until you kicked me off the soccer train.
It's not what happened at all.
Okay, all right. I'm making up my own story.
All right, so is that going on the poll for today then? Fair or
Sure.
foul?
Fair or
Yeah,
foul?
that
Cold
works.
pizza for breakfast?
I'm going to
Absolutely.
lose, but I don't care.
No, I'm curious to
think
see
it's
what the number
foul.
would
Really?
be.
Yep.
Oh.
I think it's totally fine.
I ride with you on that one, Will.
Cold pasta, fair or foul for
Oh
breakfast?
my God.
For breakfast, no.
Spaghetti with like meatballs
Big
in it.
foul.
Now,
foul.
for lunch, yes. For dinner,
Cold pizza? I mean,
No,
cold
no,
pasta?
So
I
No, you don't
I
on
agree.
that one,
I
Taylor.
agree. You can't do it for breakfast, but cold pasta for lunch, I'm fine with that.
I'm okay with that. If
One
I'm
of
real
my-
hungry.
One of my pet peeves in food, half of this,
The hot
that I
fruit
don't
one.
like hot fruit. I did have a little bit of pie
You
on
said
Sunday for
that.
Mother's Day.
Yeah,
I,
you
did,
did.
I didn't
did.
hate it.
Triple berry.
I didn't hate it.
Phrasing.
Okay. And I think food was meant to be consumed at the temperature it was originally intended, which means fruit is cold and like meat, like pasta, pizza is hot. Like I am bad at eating foods at the opposite temperature with which it would normally be enjoyed.
So where I went to school to college, there was a pizza joint there that if you ate the pizza immediately upon delivery, it was great.
Mm-hmm.
If you waited 30 minutes, you might as well have thrown it in the garbage. For whatever reason, that pizza had like about an hour shelf life where it was perfect. And then once it started cooling off, you didn't want to eat it as cold pizza the next day unless you were super drunk.
Some gets better, though, cold. I'm telling you.
And there's other meals that I've had that are actually better on the
I
second
know.
day.
I don't know what that is.
But I'm also a person that likes having a Pepsi open overnight. I like the flat Pepsi taste the
No,
next morning.
you don't.
I totally
Okay,
do.
that's
Oh, I've got to have that
Kirby Allen
carbonation.
Kirby's going to come after you.
No. Well, Kirby doesn't care
That
if
is
it's
a hot
flat
take.
Pepsi or, Pepsi
That's
in
true.
the moment.
Kirby just cares that it's Pepsi.
I don't mind the taste of flat soda.
Dang!
I don't mind it. I'm not saying I would do it every day, but I don't mind it.
Savage
Of course,
just said in the
pasta
chat.
salad is the exception. That's
Oh, I
cold pasta.
love
That's
pasta
hot.
salad.
I was
You
going to
hear
say
me?
that too.
Love a
Okay.
good
With like
pasta
goodies
salad.
in it.
You can have
Yes.
pasta salad depending on the pasta salad. I think any meal.
That's fair.
I would
Maybe
agree.
like cheese
fair.
in it and
I'll
like
give you that.
all
Oh,
that
don't
stuff.
Fresh
talk about
mozzarella?
cheese right now. You're killing
Yum.
me.
I'm
Remind
sorry,
what
guys.
it's- what it's
I love
like.
that.
No, Savage says it's amazing the things you remember and loved when you were broke. That's so
Yeah.
true.
Hey, Truer
It's so
words
true.
have never been spoken.
My buddy had texted me
Small
about
things.
the Thursday thing, said that his dad used to get paid on Thursday and cash his check at the store, at the grocery stores, and he brought home donuts. That's what it did. I'm like, you know what?
Outstanding.
He's from a small town in Kentucky. My guy Sean, he was just like cash a check at the grocery store and bring home donuts. That makes sense.
You know what I'd look forward to when my parents were separated at a young age,
Yeah.
and my dad had his own little place, and we'd go over there like during the week, and I'd look forward to his beef stroganoff.
Yeah.
Like I would be so pumped to have beef stroganoff.
I've never had beef stroganoff.
It's so good.
Fire.
I like
If
it.
it's done right, it's really
Yeah.
Straight up.
good. And real quickly, because I know we're heading to the break, my senior year of college, my dad was working as a long haul trucker, I think for Nestle, and occasionally you get damaged cases. So we had an entire refrigerator in my parents' breezeway with all these Nestle, and you don't realize how much
baby.
Nestle owned.
Yeah.
And we've got all this frozen foods and all that. Oh, the only way financially I survived my senior year of college were
Was Nestle.
all the damaged box, and there was nothing wrong with the food. But it was just all these damaged cases of Nestle literally kept me alive my senior year of college, because that year, money-wise, I made like $9,000.
Right?
I got another sneaky guilty pleasure from youth. Gas station food.
Don't tell Buck that.
Hey, dude,
I'm talking about like the ones that like,
Gas station.
of course it was bad food. It was like
Oh,
the
yeah, of
wings
course
and
it was,
cheese
yeah.
sticks and
yeah.
pizza pouches and
7-Eleven
stuff.
hot dog, baby.
I'd do it right now.
Hey,
Right now.
hear me out. The
Foot long.
Midway in Henning, Tennessee.
I grew up in Sheets country, man. What are we talking about here?
Potato
Best
wedges.
place ever.
Yes.
Coming
Love
up next,
Sheets.
second half of the show, some big media news involving one guy that I have changed my opinion on, who is coming to a bigger role in a television set near you. Coming up
Excuse me?
next on 104.5 The Zone.
Business owners, are you feeling stretched thin by the pressures of growing your business, keeping up with changing regulations and staying HR compliant? The hiring and retaining of top talent, handling payroll, the list goes on. It's tough to maintain momentum and still keep your employees engaged. Fortunately for you, there's Insperity. They put over 35 years of HR service and technology to work to help you develop a people strategy that scales with you. What if your HR strategy included access to better benefits to help you keep the employees you have and attract new ones? What if it also offered training for your employees to increase their skills so they become more productive? There will always be challenges to face in business, and no matter where they come from, Insperity is ready to help you move past them by providing the HR solutions you need. With Insperity, nothing seems impossible. Insperity, HR that makes a difference.
8 o'clock. Good morning. I'm Jonathan Schaefer from the Superbook.com sports desk. Several Titans veterans met with the media yesterday at Ascension St. Thomas Sports Park. Wide receiver Treylon Burks spoke about his offseason preparations, his expectations going into his second season, and much more.
I mean, I feel great. Running fast, not having any problems with breathing, and really just having fun, man. I'm in a good place, state of mind, and I'm just thankful.
NBA Nuggets 132, Lakers 126. Nikola Jokic went 34, 21, 14 in the Game 1 victory in Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals. Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals tonight. Miami at Boston, tip at 7:30. San Antonio Spurs won the NBA Draft Lottery, which will allow them to draft the French sensation Victor Wembanyama. Major League Baseball, the Rangers beat the Braves 7-4. College baseball, Tennessee defeated Belmont 9-5 in Tennessee's final regular season home game. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Wednesday morning edition of Ramon, Kayla, and Will is powered by All Four Seasons Garage Doors. When trust matters, count on All Four Seasons Garage Doors in Nashville. Professional garage door installation and repair from a locally owned and family-run business. Visit allfourseasonsgarages.com/Nashville. With our 11-year NFL veteran, he's of All for Life. He is Ramon Foster.
Who the hell are you? Ramon. You know. Say my name. Ramon. Do what? Say my name. I don't have a damn clue what the hell you want. Yeah, you do. Do you respect the bad guy? Ramon.
There he is.
The bad guy, Scott Hall. Love him. R.I.P., my brother.
The pride of Ripley, Tennessee.
Yeah.
Let it rip.
Offensive lineman, kicker, student body president extraordinaire. Ramon Foster.
The only Ramon in the city.
That's right. The only Ramon that was blocking and kicking.
And black. That's got to be racist.
You said it, not us.
I said it. I've met two black Ramones. I have.
Really?
I played with one at UT, Ramon Johnson from Chicago.
Okay.
He put an E at the end of his name.
No, that is,
ruined it for you.
by the way, that
Ruined it.
is wrong.
It ruined it for. I'm gonna be real. It's like, why your mama put an E at the end of your name? Like he can control that.
Of course.
Yeah, man.
I'd take it off.
That's Kayla Anderson.
Yes, sir, she is the bee's knees, Kayla. And she covers your favorite teams, Kayla. Let her ease your worried mind.
And behind the glass, spinning that hit and all the others. His name is Jonathan Schaefer.
The best producer in the world.
Of the world, Craig. The world.
That's right. As we
Yeah.
continue into the second half of this morning's show, my name is Will Bowling.
Yeah, you are.
Some media news yesterday. We just got a lot of news in like the last 5 minutes that we will get to in just a moment. But first, we go to Matthew on the phone lines, where you can join us 615-737-1045. What's up, Matthew?
What's up, Matthew?
Morning, friends. How's everybody?
Oh, good. Good morning.
I created a group of friends, and I created a verb yesterday called Ramon. Whenever you get something for free, a coin, extra sandwich, something you didn't deserve and you didn't pay for it,
A barbecue.
you just got Ramon.
Oh, my God.
Matthew,
Oh,
you didn't have to. Hey, man, it's a Wednesday. Come on, man.
It's Ramon Hump Day. Everybody hump. Get your free Ramon hump.
Thank you, Matthew.
That's what we call it.
And if you go to the link that
creativity.
Ramon, Kayla, and Will just tweeted out a couple of minutes ago, you can get a Ramon hat.
Yes.
Which will have the new Ramon, Kayla, and Will logo on it, which we're set to unveil in just under an hour.
That is
wrong. I
brilliant.
have gotten like free orders before numerous times.
Of course you have. Why is this
I
surprising?
got a pair of Cole Haan shoes I
Oh,
wasn't
God.
supposed to
Here
get.
he goes.
I got some Old Navy clothes I
Love
wasn't
it.
supposed
No,
to
keep
get.
it rolling.
Like, Matthew, you ain't wrong.
Flex
but
on us.
That's not what we're here for today, okay? We're here to talk
No,
about
we're here for
conditioning
that.
Treylon Burks. No, we're
No,
here to
we
talk
got a
about
call.
and
We're here for it.
convenience store food, okay? Come on, man.
Free
What we got
convenience
going?
store food for
I
you,
never
though.
got that one, though. I absolutely never got that one. I'm not like Shafe with a whole Nestle truck in my freezer. See, I deflected right
The whole
there.
Yeah, you
Nestle
did.
truck
I
in
did
my
deflect
You're
fridge.
getting
right
good
there.
at that.
It's fantastic.
Steve, I mean, you got to call him out too, right?
Yeah, we're equal opportunity on this show.
That's very fair, Will. You're
Equal
right.
opportunity violence.
Yes.
Weekdays from 6 to 10 on Ramon, Kayla, and Will.
There
What
you
y'all
go.
tell me yesterday or Monday I couldn't win. I think it was Monday. It's like, yeah, today not your day, Mom.
Yeah, we
you
told
and
you
Kayla
that.
had that. That's fair. Yeah, it's like that sometimes. Matthew, that's
You're
foul,
okay
my
with it.
brother. When I see you, we'll shake hands and hug. Okay.
I bet you we could play for the Titans because we chose violence.
Just
I'm serious. That's what another word they're using.
We also fighting soft tissue injuries.
We aren't, but we could push sleds.
They
I'm
could
down.
probably catch footballs. They need some of that.
Uh-oh.
Kyle is up next on the phone line.
That's
615-737-1045. Hey, Kyle.
What's up, Kyle?
Morning, guys.
Morning.
Morning.
Ramon,
Yes.
out of all the things at the gas station,
Yeah.
why Pizza Pockets, man?
Because they are
But Hot Brothers
fire.
Pizza is better.
Which one? What's better?
Hunt Brothers.
Hot Brothers Pizza.
Oh my God, yes, it is. That's fair, but I'm just talking about if that option wasn't there. Like if Hunt's wasn't in the store, those pizza pockets were fire. Come on, Kyle.
Whoa, what about Godfather's Pizza? What about
Godfather-
Godfather's Pizza?
The one up
Godfathers.
Golly, going to Springfield.
Yeah, there's one in Portland too, just
One in
outside of Portland. Yeah,
They're still around?
yeah.
Yeah.
All
Oh.
right, I got you one more thing. With the strength and conditioning, going back, I don't know, about 20 minutes. Ramon, you need to have Tommy Moffitt on, dog. Because the man coached at Tennessee, Miami, and LSU. And if anything, he'd probably know what it's like to coach under Vrabel because he's coached for Saban, Miles, and Orgeron.
Okay.
Let's get the chance. Ask your boy Bud or Fulton or Key or any of them LSU guys how crazy he was.
Okay, for sure. I see a lot of stuff about him right now on the internet. Yes, Tommy Moffitt. Okay, for sure.
Strength and conditioning?
Yeah, strength and
Yeah.
conditioning is what he does.
Yep.
Thank you, Kyle.
Yeah, that group of, and I call them maniacs, those strength and conditioning
Yeah.
coaches, they are just that, though.
Yep.
I don't think people realize that you see the strength and conditioning coach more than you see your coach. Like like your head coach.
You
like
know,
when you first get on
Yeah.
the team, you see the strength coach more than you see anybody else.
who will, and I know you know this answer, who actually has the coach's ear more than anybody in the building?
Strength coach.
My years of starting was because of what I was doing in the weight room.
Yeah.
Like, and
Everything you do in the weight room.
Everything.
Too. Like just how happy you are to be there. Like legit, hey, he's got a good attitude in here today?
Yeah.
Really? No? Okay. All right.
You're so right. Tommy Moffitt being one of those guys, I'm going to mention the name, Will, and I'm not sure if you were coach, Johnny Long at
Yeah.
Tennessee. He was Coach Fulmer's right-hand man when it came down to like, hey, yeah, he is above board, he's not. And they're also the group, the staff that do classroom checks too, the weight room staff.
I knew a guy in the athletic department who was playing for one of the bigger sports who had to sit with his trainer, with their strength coach, at breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And if the trainer wasn't there, he had to send a picture of before and after on his plate of like, hey, this is my full plate before down at Smokies. Smokies was goated, by the way. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
Whew.
Was it?
Smokies was so good.
Never had. I just
It's
had
the
Gibbs Hall.
Best part of being an athlete was Smokies.
Never experienced that, Kayla.
Good that you guys got free food. I was just working to
Well,
get my food. in
we could
college.
only get breakfast and lunch, though, because dinner was only for the football team. So it wasn't all gravy.
Right.
Kayla and Will can especially relate to this because when you're in college, you're working in media, you're flat broke.
Oh, yeah.
Anytime
Oh, yeah.
you're going and
Out
covering
of college.
events just so you can put food in your pockets and anything else you can to take home because you don't know when you're going to eat again.
I don't really know what I did a sorority. Obviously, I was in a sorority, but we had food in there, but it wasn't like we could just go in and get it all the time. So what we'd do is we'd make plates so that when we were hungry late night, we could go in there and get it so we didn't have to spend any money.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
Like at my school, if they would have whatever the media meal would be, Like if you befriended the people that prepared it, or you talk to your SID and be like, hey, man, I need to. They didn't have a problem with you making a few plates and take it home because they know you don't got any money.
Yep.
No, that's no joke.
I know it.
Broke as a joke. And the money you did get, let's be real, you were spending it on late nights.
Yeah, you barely had any money anyway. So like the players had their perks, but yeah, us media people had to hustle too.
Hustling for it.
Oh, Lord.
Always befriend the caterers and the cooks.
That is very true.
Always.
Some media news yesterday. Pat McAfee is bringing his weekday show to ESPN. Coming up this fall as a part of a multi-year deal, and I'm all for it. A guy that really annoyed me when he first kind of broke in. I thought he just kind of represented an area of sports talk and an area of just, I don't know. I just thought it was kind of bro humor.
It was ratchet.
I don't know if ratchet's even the word. It was just a little
ratchet. He was.
I don't know. And then he was like the heel at the Titans draft in 2019, and like, you didn't know my name because I was the punter and we never punt. Like, okay, guy, like, who are you? You're a punter. Like, relax.
Yeah, he was ratchet.
The dude's super authentic and really entertaining.
He is.
He does a good job. He's going to continue to be an analyst on College Game Day, but listen, ESPN middle of the day programming is something we all probably watch more than most people because we're done with the show at 10. Good to get something new.
It lacks. Yeah.
And ESPN just wants entertainment during the daytime. Those talk shows they got going on is fit for radio. I'll be honest with you, or podcasting.
So is that show going to air on ESPN as in the OG ESPN?
Yeah.
Because the thing with Pat, and I'm not saying it has to be adult themes and language and all that stuff, you're better with him a little more unfiltered.
So he did say, he said, quoting him exactly what he said, we ain't changing a damn thing. Every other word is good to go, talking about how he's not going to curse like he does on his current show.
Yeah.
He said, every other word is good to go. We won't be doing that because it's the middle of the day, but everything else will be good.
Yeah. I guess my feeling is just tone it down, and then if something, slips out, they just make sure they handle it and just
like
do
the
it on
Manning
delay.
cast.
And that'll be fine.
I think some people are upset because it is so authentic to him and the way he created it. And I'm going to use the word real because not all of us are buttoned up all the time. But in some places of business, you have to be a little more buttoned up. But he just was him, literally wearing a tank top. Nothing buttoned up about that. But I think people are worried if he goes to ESPN now, which he's doing, that they're going to try to button him up. But like you said, it looks like they're giving him most creative freedom. Now, if it was on HBO, he could say whatever the heck he wanted to say.
Right.
But I hope that it stays somewhat authentic. That's all I'm asking for.
And I think it will because there is a delay, right, when it comes down to them doing that broadcast. I went on this show once. It is a fun show.
You've been on it?
Yeah.
I was on it.
When was that?
Early on.
2 years ago.
No kidding.
I was on it. The show was fun.
Now I want to know about it.
It was a good segment, too, like really good. Like he does it well. It was really, really.
Did you call in?
Yeah, I called in. Was it Zoom? Call in the Zoom, one of them. I forget. But yeah, it was the show was fun. I can't.
That's cool. I'd love to do it.
I'm with you on them thinking he's going to lose himself a little bit. I doubt it, but this is what he's Lebertard to me. He's getting his whole crew paid.
True that. He is.
He's getting his whole crew paid. I'll tell you what, Pac-Man, he jumped on the boat at the right time.
Yeah, his YouTube shows get quite a bit of buzz.
Yeah.
Like and his announcement of what's happening and what he's doing got 400,000 views, and it was posted 17 hours ago.
Now we know why ESPN was making all those cuts.
Well, they're still going. By
that
the way.
would have happened either way.
You think so? Well, I'll just
100% chance.
Making way to pay his crew.
No, those
are not one-for-one things.
Okay, well, that's just me being a small J journalist.
ESPN's been making cuts every year for the past 4 or 5 years. A lot of that's pandemic based.
Big old bag of savages. Yeah, buddy.
Coming up next, some big recruiting news for Tennessee as they add a commitment to the class of 2023 from not an area where you would expect an edge rusher to come from. We'll dive into that with Mike Wilson, who joins us coming up next. The baseball headlines as well with our Thursday morning. I know it's Wednesday, but we're saying Mike is a Thursday. We'll see if he agrees. Coming up next on 104.5 The Zone.
Hey, I am joined now by our good friend Dean Glasscock of Arbor Art Tree and Shrub, your expert in trees and shrubs right here in Middle Tennessee. Dean, all of your services you offer are so great, but can you tell us more about tree growth regulators and how those old mature trees can benefit?
Yeah, just pick up the phone, 615-299-9999. I always like to get that easy number out there to remember who to call on your trees and shrubs. Good morning. Yes, definitely. Tree growth regulators, they slow down the growth of the trees. And what's that do? That boosts the immune system. It keeps that energy in the root system where it needs to be during, like if you're having construction done around your home, you should call us, 615-299-9999. Call us before you start your construction if you want to save your trees. If you don't do this, you will pay for it dearly a few years down the road. You'll notice your trees are stressing. So this growth regulator is a great product. We sell a lot of it. You have to do it every 3 years. You have to reapply it, but it's well worth it. Very affordable. So again, 615-299-9999. Also, if you have mature trees and you're not having construction, you want those trees to be as healthy as possible and live as long as possible, give them that growth regulator. So give us a call. We want to serve you if we can. We sure appreciate everybody, and I hope you have a good rest of the week. Thank you.
They are the experts, 29 years of experience, Arbor Art Tree and Shrub. You can check them out online at arborart.net or just call them, 615-299-9999. That's Arbor Art Tree and Shrub.
Wednesday morning on Ramon, Kayla, and Will, and it's powered by all Four Seasons Garage Doors with Ramon Foster and Kayla Anderson. I'm Will Bowling. As we go to the Mark Spain Real Estate Hotline this morning and check in with our good friend Mike Wilson of the Knoxville News Sentinel. Mike, good morning. How are you?
Good. What does Grant Ramey have to say to me through you today?
Okay, so essentially what had happened was that Grant was on our show Monday, and it was actually a very normal, good visit, informational, good stuff. And Grant, at the end of it, goes, hey, thanks for having me on a Monday morning, because I'm basically the embodiment of a Monday morning, if Monday mornings were a person. So, Mike, we ask you, what weekday would you be the embodiment of?
Well, one thing I want to clarify here is first that I think I got the invite for the Monday morning segment first. I turned it down when I was out of town.
By the way, I can confirm that. I have the text messages that Mike.
No.
Okay, all right. On the record, Mike, if I may interject, Mike was the first to ask and then said I can do Wednesday. Grant was the backup.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so let's just put that out there publicly for everyone to know. I like to think I'm an average time on my worst days. So I feel like I'm like a late week, like maybe like a Thursday morning, or like the pre-Friday morning. Because as I've aged, I'm definitely no longer a Friday morning.
See, Mike, before you came on the show, I said, you know what? I feel like Mike is a Thursday morning, because Thursdays, it's a fun day. There's good vibes. But it's not,
Turning the corner toward happiness.
Yeah, you're not like bouncing off the walls. You're not Ryan Shumpert over here. But like, you're just you're vibing. You're just guys being dudes on a Thursday morning.
I'll take it. I've heard worse things.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thursday's a good day.
I'm proud of myself for getting that right.
You should.
Absolutely.
He's your boy.
Absolutely, that's right. Mike, Tennessee just got a commitment a couple minutes ago from England. From NFL Academy graduate Emmanuel Okoye, a guy they see as a tight end for the class of 2023. Tennessee football already announcing this signing. How hot are the Vols on the recruiting trail right now?
It's been pretty wild. And obviously when you're talking international, let's go, right? That speaks for itself when the brand is carrying like that. But yeah, what Josh Heupel's done the past two cycles, football recruiting-wise, is really impressive. And it speaks to, one, what they're doing building a program that's winning, but also the brand that they're playing with. And that was obviously showcased last season very well. There's an excitement, and there should be, and it's translating to recruiting, which it also should do.
Yeah, it certainly has. And what expectations do you have for this class? Because I feel like when you're up there in the college football playoff conversation, you're a top 5-6 program a season ago. It feels like the expectation has got to be a top 10 class in 2024. Is that realistic for Josh Heupel?
Yeah, but that's kind of what you want to see anyway out of Tennessee, right? That's kind of that bar, just in terms of the brand that carries the access to talent within the region, and also the brand that can speak nationally. That's what you want to see. And certainly you should be able to parlay an 11-win season with a Heisman candidate quarterback, a Bolitnikoff winner. Those are things that you need to translate into recruiting and bringing in guys that can do similar things. So, yeah, top 10 is right where you want to be. But, again, that's kind of got to be that thing every year. But what's really interesting to see with this is one of the knocks on Josh Heupel coming in was the recruiting side of it. Didn't really – and, it's harder to recruit to a UCF a little bit. Still a lot of access to talent in Florida, but didn't really recruit super well. I know I had heard some people say, well, he was winning with the previous regime's players. Well, he can develop for one, and now you're seeing him recruit his tail off, him and his staff here in Knoxville. So I think that doubt that could have existed has been pretty well put to rest so far.
Mike, considering the fact that you go get a commitment from England, from the NFL international program that they have, does this really just, for the parents who have kids in recruiting, if you're good enough, does this resonate to them that they're going to find you?
It's got to, right? When you're talking, especially football, which isn't a massively international recruiting sport like a basketball will be,
you're right.
It says that you're able to find players and get to players that, yeah, if you're good enough and you fit what Tennessee or any other school wants, they're going to find you and they're going to get you. And for Tennessee, that's nice, but it does probably speak to that power T element that, people always talk about, that being so recognizable. It carries weight.
And when you look at this also, when you speak about Heupel and still being able to close out guys and go get other recruits, they're speaking about Emmanuel Okoye being a tight end for this team. How big of a get for a guy that's got a 45.5-inch vertical, I think 72-inch like wingspan? Like, what does it do for a team that moves the way it does on offense? And I've watched his movements. He moves very fluid for a guy that hadn't had that much exposure to football.
Yeah, and that's probably the spot that when you look at Tennessee, especially offensively, you say they need more there. They need game changers at that position. I think Ethan Davis showed early in the spring he could be a guy like that, but that is that position that Tennessee hasn't utilized in crazy ways yet offensively.
Yeah.
You throw a guy with athleticism in there like that, a guy who can stretch the field, run the seams, get out there, I think that changes a lot for this offense. So having a guy with that raw skill, and that's an exciting thought. You line him up alongside some of the wide receivers Tennessee has. Could be pretty electric, but that kind of is Josh Heupel's thing after all.
And can I just ask you this, too, on the football side of things? With Tennessee getting Nico and still having Joe, Georgia getting Dylan Raiola, you got Texas and Oklahoma who's going to try to get 5-star quarterbacks, too. Alabama has one, if not 2 or 3 on their roster, too. The SEC is becoming what we think a quarterback-driven league also, man. How do you view Tennessee stacking up in this environment that's created right now?
Yeah, I mean, it's a quarterback-driven world when you look at college football.
True.
I mean, you have a good quarterback, you got a shot. You don't. And it's been very clear. I mean, you look at who was drafted out of Tennessee's 2020 offense that averaged 21 points a game. I think it was 10 draft picks was the final count that I saw put out there. Why did that team suck so badly? I mean, coaching can be, part of that. But you also can look firmly at the quarterback room.
Yeah.
I mean, Tennessee's quarterback room is lousy. The guys in that room, all 3 of them ended up not at this program. One was a part-time starter on a 1-11 Colorado team, and the other 2 were backups at poor programs. And Jarek Garantano was the other and the starter. So you can look at that and say, okay, well, that's how a team with 10 NFL draft picks on offense doesn't do a lot because of the quarterback. To answer your actual question, Tennessee's quarterback room stacks up incredibly well, and that's because you've got a proven player in Joe Milton who has started at 2 major programs, has seemingly cleaned up the issues that have plagued him at those programs, and you've got one of the top quarterback recruits in program history sitting there behind him ready to go. Now, that said, you got to keep stacking those guys because it is that whole you only play one, so you better get the right one because you saw at Alabama – they didn't like their quarterback situation after the spring. So they went out and got the Notre Dame transfer. You saw Josh Heupel do the same thing by going out and getting Joe Milton when they were a little uncertain if the Brian Maurer, Hendon Hooker, Harrison Bailey combination was going to be it. So you see that. You see that you've got to keep bringing in guys and really layering that room because you've got to have a good one. And with Josh Heupel's offense, you better have a good one because there's so much to put on that quarterback.
Yeah, I left one guy off, Spencer Rattler. And for this reason, I just want to go this route. Are we having a blackout game when South Carolina comes to Tennessee? That's all I need to know.
I don't think they're going to wear the orange helmet, that's for sure.
No, they're not going to wear that one. But you see where my heart and soul is right now, okay? It's just that game is what matters to me, Mike. Please tell me we're going to do something crazy.
I mean, there's probably something crazy on the field, if nothing else. But, yeah, the blackout game would make a lot of sense for that one probably this year. And Tennessee's played well in those uniforms.
Yeah.
I mean, that Kentucky game last year was goofy. Because I don't know if you guys knew this, but Will Levis was a second-round NFL draft pick.
Oh, my God.
Oh, here he goes.
What Tennessee did to him in that game was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Okay, I see that Thursday morning energy, although it's Wednesday, Mike. Okay. Let's switch that over to the diamond, though, because I want you to tell me about this Tennessee team here. Going down the stretch, got their final midweek win against Belmont yesterday, but a big old series coming up with South Carolina this weekend, and that is on the road, a place where, on the road this year has not been great for the Vols. What do they need to do this weekend to really solidify going into the postseason with some momentum?
You got to win the series.
Yep.
I mean, you talk about the home and road splits for this team. Tennessee's 2-11 on the road, and you see that and you say, dang, they need to host in the postseason.
Yeah.
If Tennessee gets a chance to play a regional at Lindsey Nelson Stadium, it's a totally different situation. They probably are going to roll through that because they play so differently at home. And then you say, oh, well, you probably got to go win a road series to clinch the home host. And that's where Tennessee is. I think they've probably got to go down there, win a series, not flame out in Hoover next week, then they've got a good shot at that 15-16 spot probably with a seed. They've got a good enough RPI. They've finished the season on the upswing and all those different things that people could ever talk about. And Tennessee's going to pack that place, sell it out, attention, all that. So there's a lot of things going in their favor, but it starts with winning at South Carolina, which is a very good team, but also a very injured team that's reeling right now.
Sure.
So Tennessee's going in there at a good time probably if it wants to have a shot. Because earlier in the year, I thought South Carolina might be the best team in the SEC, but they've just been hit by a lot of injuries.
Yeah, and that's a bad time to be hit by injuries. So you were talking about Tennessee on the up and up, at least in the last month or so. What have you seen out of this team that's kind of allowed them to turn the corner? And I know earlier, I think it was last month we had you on, it was fundamentals. Fundamentals was an issue.
Yeah, I was on right before the Vandy series, and we were kind of on the verge of writing the obit, I think, in some ways for this team. I don't know if I said this, but it felt like at that point, this team had this weird ability to punch itself in the face, opposed to punching the other team, as the Tennessee teams of the past had, and they've kind of flipped that. They definitely did that against Vanderbilt. I mean, Griffin Merritt's walk-off homer in that opener really did turn things, and you wondered at the time if it would, but it has. I mean, they beat up on a bad Mississippi State team after that. They've rolled through since then, and I thought they were better at Georgia overall on the road than they had been in previous road attempts. And then obviously took a series from Kentucky, which has the number one RPI in the country this last weekend. So they went from 5-10 in the SEC to talking about maybe being an NCAA tournament host. So that really does tell you how good the past month has been for this team.
Mike Wilson, our guest this morning here on Ramon, Kayla, and Will. Mike, I know you've spent a lot of time around Tony Vitello before Tennessee baseball was something that was covered the way that it is now. Which is certainly no slight to media members there who are covering it now, but you were there when this team was good, not great, right? How have you seen Tony Vitello act this season that's maybe a little different? Because this has been a very challenging season for that team, and how have you seen him change or maybe stay the same just in the way he's interacted with you guys?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's been that different. I mean, he's always a guy who makes bizarre, funny movie references or just offhand comments like that, and kind of keeps it light even when it's not. And I think there's been some consistency there with that, but certainly from the outside looking in, you say, oh man, this has probably been a trying season. And the past they were very good before COVID hit. So really the past 3 seasons and the NCAA tournament in 2019 were really good. Hasn't had a super frustrating season since 2018, I guess, which would have been his second year. So it's different. I think you can definitely see it's different, but once things started to turn, I think it's been clear that, okay, he feels good about this. And to be fair to Tony, he was very confident early in the year, said before the Florida series, this team still got good baseball ahead of it. I think he said best baseball is yet to come, which was a fair statement because they hadn't played good baseball at all. But they have. They've backed that up now in the recent stretch. But, yeah, I think he's been pretty darn near the same. Just as he was throughout the past couple seasons. Still fiery, ran out the dugout last weekend and just celebrated Zane Denton diving play. I mean, still that same guy. He is a Friday morning.
Yeah, that's right. He might be a Friday night, honestly.
He's a Friday night.
Yeah. Right. Mike, what's the latest on the ballpark upgrades to Lindsey Nelson Stadium? I know there's been some new renderings. Some of the broadcasters that have come into Lindsey Nelson or remotely looped into Lindsey Nelson Stadium have talked about them in the past few weeks. So what is the timeline for that place looking a little bit different?
Yeah, I mean, I think the brick and mortar stuff is a little bit slower, which is just a state processes thing. But as someone who was sitting in the press box last night during the storms rolling in, I believe my remark at one point was, I think I'm on the Titanic. So that's about where things are. No, they're getting rolling with all of that. You see some of the updates. There's been a lot of stuff in the player areas that have been upgraded and handled, the locker rooms, things in that area, team room. Obviously, they've added decks to the porch in each of the last seasons. They kept those temporary seats down the left field line from the postseason 2 years ago. So you've seen some stuff happen, but that brick and mortar stuff's slow, and Tennessee has a tight footprint they're working with, and a slow state process, honestly. I know other states have faster movement in terms of the things you have to jump through in order to actually break ground and start. So I'd imagine as soon as this season ends, I mean, probably if Tennessee finds out it's not hosting, they can get rolling on that stuff pretty darn fast here. And I'd imagine that's the case of where things are at.
Mike Wilson, bringing it as always here on Ramon, Kalen, Will at by Mike Wilson, where you can find him and his insults to Grant Ramey on Twitter, not just on this show. Mike, thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks,
Thursday.
Mike.
They're slights, not insults.
Slights, of course. That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
There
Delicate. He's a delicate man.
Half of the Property Brothers with us this morning here on the show. There's Mike Wilson.
Thank you, Thursday morning.
Bringing it here as Tennessee adds a commitment. We'll give you the details on that. And quite honestly, the sports business story that I am just elated about.
You really are, Will.
Coming up next. You guys have no idea the excitement that I have for what I'm going to talk about coming up next on 104.5 The Zone.
It's Ramon Foster, my PhD weight loss. Listen, guys, it's been very beneficial to me. I know we were talking about convenience food earlier and everything else around it, but I'm here to tell you the plan that my PhD weight loss have for you is going to be something that is specifically for you about your weight loss journey. And that's what we'll call it, because you're walking side by side with somebody. I have a coach I talk to every single Thursday. We talk on the phone or we'll text through it too. Hey, Ramon, how was your progress? She's Rachel, and we talk through all things that involve me and my weight loss plan. On average, if you need some proof, most male clients lose between 2 to 3 pounds a week. 3 to 5 pounds, and most female clients lose between 2 to 3 pounds a week. This is something you've been thinking about. Again, I hear people stressing about the summertime coming up, the beach is coming up, vacation is coming up. I got to get in this swimsuit. What about my swim trunks? All this types of things. Guess what? Go ahead and make that call. Go to their website. Somebody will reach out to you and get you a plan that fits you and only for you, along with some guidance. Again, if it's been on your mind about getting yourself together, go to myphdweightloss.com and be sure to tell them that Ramon sent you.
Wednesday morning continues on Ramon, Kayla, and Will, powered by All Four Seasons Garage Doors. The executive producer of Titans Radio, Rhett Bryan, stops by in 15 minutes.
The Indianapolis Colts.
That's right. We have a new development in the world of college football. I'm curious if you guys can think of what Louisiana Monroe, Eastern Michigan, and Georgia State have in common.
Nathaniel. Georgia State, they beat Tennessee.
Okay, that's not what I was asking for.
Non-power.
I gotta
Power
go.
5 schools.
I gotta say it before somebody else do it.
Eastern Michigan, Louisiana Monroe, and Georgia State were all programs that I took to national championships as a head coach on NCAA Football 14.
I was close.
On Xbox, and it is back, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh,
Gotta make it about him.
Where's the drop?
Come
It's all
on.
about
Look at
me.
that.
It's all
Let's
about me.
go.
All right, when he said that, I didn't believe it. Now,
Really?
where's your trophy at?
Adam Schefter reporting this morning the details on ESPN.com that an EA Sports representative confirmed to ESPN today that they have contracted with One Team Partners to facilitate collegiate athletes' name and likenesses into the new college football video game. The partnership will include the chance for all eligible FBS players to opt in and have their likenesses in EA Sports college football. Come on!
Know what that means?
Yes!
You done?
No!
He's going to celebrate the rest of the day. So.
It comes out next summer, so I've got a lot of excitement to ration over the next 12 months.
This man need to go have a break and a cigarette, man.
This is
What
my
are we
childhood,
doing?
man.
We may have to have a game room inserted
This
back
was
here.
legit. No, I've
Seriously.
got plenty of those. This is legitimately my childhood.
I know it is. It's mine too, but I'm just like, goodness. All I'm happy for is those dudes getting an opportunity to get paid for their name, image, and likeness. Now that's awesome. No, that's the thing to
just spoke
celebrate.
about
Will
this.
he want to celebrate him winning championships off their backs on a virtual game? No, cut them players some checks, man.
Their faces are in there.
Yeah,
You
come
know?
on.
Buddy.
My last name on the game, pay me. You know what matters? Pay me. I'm going back to the
Do you want to be on the
Goodfellas.
cover?
Yeah, who me? Would I be on the cover?
Yeah.
They should put a lineman on the cover.
That's what I'm saying.
You knew who I was going with
I
that,
dare
Caleb.
you, NCAA.
I
I dare
y'all put a
you.
lineman out there.
By the way, I have to find it, but we did get a mock-up of Ramon being on the cover of Madden. That does exist.
I remember
I
that.
would love to see
excuse
that.
me. Excuse me, not Madden, but
NCAA.
of NCAA college football in his Tennessee
Oh,
uniform.
please, can we get
I gotta
that?
find
remember
that.
that.
Holy cow!
Yeah.
This music, the amount of I'm back at 2:30 in the morning.
The amount of dates you didn't go on,
and I'm
because of
trying
this.
to get a 5-star recruit that I created to commit to me. I would create
another girl you didn't go on a date
fictitious.
with.
I have a girlfriend.
He's got a girl
relax.
now, though, so you're going to be gotta be careful here.
I would. Yeah, I did.
true.
I would create fictional sons of Titans players and try to recruit them to my team.
It's the nerdiest.
No, the amount of people I knew that did that, my friends
just say
from
that off
college,
the
we've
mic.
already told ourselves, so you can do connected dynasties, and you all pick a team, and you can all play a dynasty together on your own Xboxes. We've already started picking our teams this morning.
Have you really?
I think I'm going to go to the ACC. That way I can avoid the grind of an SEC schedule
Oh,
and
gosh.
have an easy path to the playoff.
Kayla.
They're about to be
Or
deconstructed.
the Big Ten, actually.
Who was the
Yes.
coach? The big fat coach with Barstool. What was the name?
Coach Doug's.
Coach Doug.
Gus Duggerton.
Oh, I
took-
remember Gus
Who took Tennessee to
Duggerton.
the
Oh, yeah.
national title.
So
You don't know Gus Duggerton?
the guy during the pandemic,
Oh, it
Big
was
Cat on
good.
Barstool, streamed NCAA football.
Look
You
it
remember
up.
this because he coached Tennessee and won the national championship with Tennessee.
It was pretty funny. I even got into that.
Arian Foster was a part of it.
Oh.
No?
No.
Gus
still not ringing.
Duggerton,
The
he
funny
was
thing
like
is,
a funny character.
They gave a guy a job at the company because he looked like the coach they made in the video game, and that
You.
guy still has a full-time job at Barstool
Nice.
because he looked like
This
Doug's.
is Gus Duggerton.
Yeah,
The guy
Kayla's
that
now
was going,
showing
"Sup?"
Ramon.
Was it that guy?
No, not the guy, not the old Browns offensive line coach.
That's the only coach
It
I
should
remember.
have
You
been.
remember that? You remember?
Remember when you said he passed away and he didn't?
He did.
So I am 1 year away. That's funny.
That's my favorite Kayla laugh. Is that one? No.
It's evil.
I'm like hawking a loogie up here.
Hey.
There is nothing that can steal
TV
my
consumption.
steal my joy on the new NCAA video game.
See,
coming out.
he's so dialed in, Ramon.
I'm
Nothing
so
can
excited.
shake him right now.
Call me a nerd. Doesn't matter. I'm a winner.
I got
on that game.
nothing, Kayla. I got nothing. He's excited. He's so excited.
I've taken Tennessee to
just
so many
can't
championships.
hide
I probably played with you on the video game.
Whoa.
Ooh,
I did.
that's a
Probably
compliment
did.
there.
That is-
Phrasing?
No.
No, I phrased that perfectly. You were on the video game, and I won a national championship with you at Tennessee.
That's all good and dandy. But you're super excited about this, Will.
Yeah.
Are you going to
There are
play
a lot
it?
of people who are.
You know why he's excited and you and me aren't?
Why?
He got time.
Because we're old.
Yeah.
He got time.
Tell me when I have
You got
time.
He got
This just means I'm not going to sleep when it comes out.
Michaela, he got
You really think I have time? You really do?
Even if you don't got time, I'm going to say you got time.
No, but I'm going to make time. Goodness sakes.
THYME.
He got
That
a
is.
lot of time on his hands, Kayla. That's all that is.
That's
man.
news to me.
It's news to us because you just told us you got all this time on your hands. Yeah, I'm going to continue to say it like that, too. Say it.
I've got time to play video games that never had offensive linemen on the cover. That's what I've got time for.
You take that back.
Throw the cushy toys. That's why I gave them to
What happens
you.
with our cushy
By
toys?
the way,
Hey, throw the
where are
fuzzy
my
balls out.
cushy toys?
Where's the fuzzy balls?
Hey,
Okay,
Vince
that's
Young got
it.
on a video game cover.
How long did that last?
Where'd the fuzzy balls go? Where did they
I
go?
am not happy
yeah,
about
who
those.
took the
Those
plush
toys are expensive.
They are
Oh,
expensive.
and those
they
were a
came
gift
from
to our
England.
show.
All
Came
right.
from
Who-
London where
who
we're
are
trying
we blaming
to go.
for this? Who are we blaming for this?
Who we blaming for?
Well, Buck hates the
Buck
You just said Buck hates. End of story.
Buck hates the
period.
clutter
Okay,
around here.
this is a new Unsolved Mysteries episode.
I've gone to Buck's house. Buck's house is nice and clean. I got to give it to him.
Yeah, because he has
people come
a
every
lady
week.
come and clean it.
That's a high.
He doesn't
high
do
I
it
wish
himself.
I had that.
I got to get my lady back. Does that?
Okay.
No,
I mean,
I was just going to say, I
Buck
knew you
put
had
it in
somebody.
his budget.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I knew you had
come on.
somebody.
I can
So
fit
you
it in
got
my
time
budget,
to
too.
hire somebody to come?
I hire somebody because I need more time.
Go to break!
Hey, get it together.
Time.
Get it together.
I just looked
that
at
would-
Will. Was like, this ain't me. This is you.
When have I ever had it together?
Deflector.
That's fair. You know what they say? That's high intellect too.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it is. I'm sorry you got it together though.
Coming up next, should we show the people our new logo?
Yeah.
I hadn't even seen it, Will.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
have.
you have. You
seen
said it. You gave the yes
Let
on
me
it.
lie on the radio and act like I'm surprised too. God.
Yeah, he's lying about me having time, so he's got to lie
Oh.
about this too. He's just telling all sorts of lies.
It must be hump day.
It is
What's
Wednesday.
in your
Yeah, it is
coffee,
Wednesday.
bro?
That's that good old.
Coming up next, we'll show 1045 The Zone TV our new logo on 1045 The Zone.
9:01. Good morning. I'm Jonathan Schaefer from the Superbook.com sports desk. Several Titans veterans met with the media yesterday at Ascension St. Thomas Sports Park, including Treylon Burks. Spoke about a variety of topics, including, well, how's he feeling right now?
Problems with breathing and really just having fun, man. I'm in a good place, state of mind, and I'm just thankful.
Well, we're thankful for that. To the NBA, it was the Nuggets defeating the Lakers 132-126 in Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals. Eastern Conference Finals begin tonight. Miami at Boston, 7:30 to tip. The San Antonio Spurs won the NBA Draft Lottery, which will allow them to draft French sensation Victor Wembanyama. Major League Baseball, the Rangers beat the Braves 7-4. Tennessee Baseball defeated Belmont 9-5. Final regular season home game for the Vols. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and the Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Fourth and final hour on our Wednesday morning edition. It is Ramon, Kayla, and Will, powered by All Four Seasons Garage Doors. We've got a new logo to debut to the people. It's on Twitter right now, at Ramon, Kayla, and Will, and it is now on 104.5 The Zone TV as we begin the RKW era on 104.5 The Zone. There it is.
Let's go.
You got the Nashville sunrise. You've got the Nashville skyline. You've got beautiful Tennessee orange. You've got it all.
Love it.
Got me updating my profile right now.
Here it is on the chat. Look at that. Looking good with the gray background and the lovely morning colors of the yellows and oranges.
Ramon, you got the Batman building in there, man.
You see what I'm saying?
Come on now.
That's right.
Hard out here, Rhett.
As we welcome Rhett Bryan into the studio for his weekly visit. Good morning, Rhett.
Woo!
Good morning, everyone. That
Welcome.
Logo is, as I once heard on 30 Rock. Oh, good Lord. What's his name that used to be on SNL? That was on 30 Rock.
Jack Donaghy, Alec Baldwin.
Tracy Morgan.
Tracy Morgan. Wow.
He told Grizz and .com one time, he said, that's sweet like bear meat.
Yeah.
I love that show so much.
Yeah. I'm here for this, Rhett B. You know, some of the kids also say these days, a banger. That's what this is, okay?
It's a slap.
goodness.
It's a banger. It's a bop.
A bop.
Yeah, I've
Fire. We said
Yeah,
that one,
fire.
yeah?
Goated.
Yeah. Goated?
Mm-hmm.
Goated.
Goated.
It hits hard.
Like it's the goat,
It
but
hits
it's
hard.
good.
That's right.
Yeah.
It hits different.
It hits different.
Hits different. It's good.
By the way,
Lit.
if you buy that NSC ticket bundle package, you will have a hat included that has that brand new logo, which you can find on our socials right now, and also Zone TV,
There we go.
an Arcade Dub, and 104.5 The Zone branded hat, along with the Nashville SC logo in the front, all a part of that, with a ticket to tonight's game, $35, 104.5thezone.com.
Yeah.
There you go.
Hey, believe it, then you'll achieve it. Let's go.
Love it.
In this thing, Rhett B. I'm
So there
here
you
for
go.
this. Updating all my social media profiles right now. Just so you
How many
know.
social media profiles do you have to update?
3.
Okay.
Well, not profiles, of different
Hey,
platforms. Twitter, Instagram,
1
Facebook.
second of bragging camp here.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
I'll allow it.
Who was the person that said you should be called Arcade Dub?
Oh, this guy in Rhett Bryan.
Woo!
There he is.
That
Come on. Come on now.
guy.
Come on. When it's right, it's right, Rhett B. You feel
That's
me?
all I'm going to say.
That's all.
We're done.
Outstanding.
That
Bragging
guy.
camp is closed. We're good.
I actually had a moment of bragging camp the other day, but I called myself out about it. Just
Did
so
you?
you know. Yeah, I did.
When
I
you were
was
talking
bragging.
about all the free stuff you get.
Oh, no. It was about the cars. Yeah.
He said he got a free
Which was free?
Mustang as a buy one, get one free when he was in Pittsburgh. Like a free Ford Mustang.
Good enough price, though.
Well, I mean, listen, if he was out here hitting slids like Mike Vrabel and the Titans are in the bubble, he earned it.
Hey, dog.
Arcade
Hey,
Dub.
dog. That's what it was for. That's all that hard work, man. Come
So,
on.
That looked fun.
How unique is that for a team to hit sleds and OTAs? Like the Titans just put out this video, and Keith Bulluck immediately retweeted it and said, "Yeah, I would have been skipping OTAs if this was what was going on."
I haven't been to enough, obviously I'm not allowed to the closed practices, but I wouldn't think it was super common, but hey, and here's the thing, they're not going sideline to sideline. They're going like end zone to end zone.
Yes.
I'm like, good Lord. And it's not just a bunch of the young ones, man. I mean, you got
Tanny.
Yeah.
I will say this is normal. It is. You just get an opportunity to see it. Like we did parachutes, we did sleds. Not with this much weight. Well, how much
You're
weight
looking
is it?
at the weight.
No, that's not that bad. That's a plate.
Oh,
A
yeah,
plate.
45.
Vrabel's on top of one of them.
Who's pushing it?
I think the other part of it is you've got that AstroTurf surface, the
turf on the inside.
Which, it would create some resistance, I would think, that would, some drag there.
All this is a strain drill. That's all this is.
Yeah.
It's a strain drill. Like we did these also. We pull sleds, we push sleds also. The last push at the end is just for finish.
Mm-hmm.
This is normal and it's necessary.
What I find interesting is that they're putting it out there.
Yeah. Well, Rhett, let's take it back to the 2022 season.
Okay.
Right?
Yep.
What was the biggest topic of conversation surrounding this team as far as players? Availability. And soft tissue.
It's always been physicality, all the things that Mike Vrabel identifies as a Titan. And yeah.
We criticize, at least I'll speak for me, I criticize the idea, what are they doing inside of the building? How is everybody hurt? Now we're getting images and video of what they're actually doing. And this, to me, is the stuff that I don't want to compare one to one, but we did these types of things. I'm not opposed to it because football is a very, weighted, heavy movement, training, load management type of sport, though, too.
And this is the tougher stuff you can do till you get to football shape.
There's no parameters on it.
You can be all the shape in the world that you want. Being football shape is something completely different. But that's some physicality there.
And so we brought this up, too, and I said this to Will on the break. I was just like, okay, so everybody spoke about Byard. Everybody speaks about Derek. And the one thing that a lot of the fans say, now that it matters what's going to happen inside of their facility, they should be doing what Derek and Byard are doing. Boom. Here it is.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you know what I'd like to do, though? I'd like for Derek to come to town once he finishes his individual stuff.
Yeah.
And see him just push the bubble.
Oh, my God, right?
and push the bubble into Lake Amulet. Right. And they go, all right, we got to start over.
Yeah.
Because I feel like he could do that.
With that long hill that he's running?
Oh, man.
Just look out for Lake Amulet right next to him, and you'll be good to go.
That long hill he's running, let me tell you, first of all, there's an old school flavor to that video.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And if you've been around as long as I have or longer, you've seen footage of Walter Payton.
I think I know where
Jerry
you're going.
Rice.
Jerry Rice.
I mean, the elites do some crazy. Think about this. I've seen some crazy workout videos over the years.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So I'm trying. His name escapes me right now, but the tackle who played for the Seahawks, who's a Hall of Famer, who is from Alabama, from the state of Alabama.
Walter.
Yep. Yeah, he's pushing around like a 74 Impala land yacht. But that was his sled back home.
This is
he's pushing a sled.
Yeah, he's pushing a sled. He was a sled to push. But to me, I like this though. I do. Now, is it going to be too much? We got to wait and see. But I overtrained. The weights that I pushed and the abs and the dumbbells, like we're talking about overhead, like bench pressing, like 190 dumbbells. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what you got to do because it is a hard trained sport. And I love it and I always speak to the fans. That's who we hear from all the time, right? For all the fans that say, man, how do these guys work? Well, you get an opportunity to see it. And this, honestly, is kind of toned down. Like, there is a different level to go about. And I know you said Bully said that he's glad he's not there. Most veterans don't have to. And they're probably doing something just as crazy in another location, probably twice as much weight as that is too.
And the thing that I'm taking away from yesterday's press availability, coupled with this video they dropped an hour ago, they clearly are fine tuning and honing towards what they want. And
Yep.
and I take, because I heard you guys this morning in the 7 o'clock hour talking about Treylon Burks.
Yeah.
And that's why I didn't go crazy because they didn't take a receiver till the end of the 7th round, because they still have Treylon Burks and they have Chigakonkwo, who I figure to be a massive part of this in year 2, both of those guys. But Treylon, clearly he had stumbling blocks and things that when he came out of the gates in this. And I remember Coach Vrabel speaking to us about how good he's doing and how well he had started to really push things to get through that wall you're talking about. That's why you do things like this right now.
It is.
Because it becomes a grind and it becomes tough, and you want to be able to mentally punch through that wall. Treylon did a very smart thing in going to his coaches and Frank Perino, the strength and conditioning coach, and saying, how do I be a pro?
Right.
And so he started changing his diet, he said mid-season last season, and, doing the things. I don't know about you. He looks ready to go to me.
Rhett, I took away confidence from that presser. Something where, he's always had that, but it's a different type of confidence that you don't have to mask at all. It's a real, true, when he stepped to the podium and answered questions, I was like, that kid has confidence.
And that's what I heard too, Kayla. He spoke with a contrite tone.
Yep.
Didn't have to sell anybody. It's just like, this is what this is. So, and listen, I don't want to make too much out of an availability, but sounds like all these guys are doing their thing.
Yeah.
And obviously the goal is something much greater. But I felt better about Treylon Burks personally. Not that I had any worries or whatever. And I knew that he was putting in the work since, like he said, mid-season last season. And now I feel even more confident just thinking about it, because you guys remember he was my favorite. He was my draft crush in 2022. And I think he's trying to prepare himself for the big year 2 leap.
Yep.
And then the other part about Tim Kelly being his
I thought that was really
mentor,
interesting.
I'm like that.
Mm-hmm.
So
Absolutely right. A relevant conversation, certainly, with the changes to the offense and the change to the offseason program that we'll continue to talk about with Rhett Bryan coming up. Presented, as always, by our friends at Farm Bureau Health Plans. We'll continue that. We'll dive into what Azeez Al-Shire had to say about this program being unique to any other place that he's been as we continue with Rhett Bryan here on Ramon, Kayla, and Will, 104.5 The Zone. RKW presented by All Four Seasons Garage Doors continues right here on 104.5 The Zone as Rhett Bryan stops by for his weekly conversation here on the show. Presented by Farm Bureau Health Plans. Need great healthcare coverage with an affordable price tag. Let Farm Bureau Health Plans coach you through it. They've been protecting Tennesseans for 75 years. Rhett, what are we listening to right now?
Run Like Hell, Pink Floyd, which is what I want 22 and 32 and 25 to do.
I like it.
All of those numbers.
Love some Pink Floyd.
Yeah.
Run, 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 run.
Off the Wall album.
Yeah. This
That's
is this is a jam right here.
This is a bop.
Banger.
It's a bop.
Bop.
Yeah, if you bang your head to it, then it's a banger. If you're like bopping your head side to side, then it's a bop.
Okay, that makes sense. Like, could you envision yourself like running to this song?
Oh, 100%.
Speaking of run, like, I mean,
100%.
I mean, you could tear ass over some cross country tracks, man. Yeah,
Running over, folks.
Well, I loved The Distance by Cake while I was
Oh, sure.
I would cue that up
Sure.
for like the last set of a long workout.
Of course.
Reluctantly crouched at the starting line. It was
Yeah.
really good.
Yeah. Absolutely. I can see that.
By the way, Grant Ramey on Twitter, our friend from VolQuest, has created an alternate logo for us. And in the circle of the R and of the O, he has put Mike Wilson's face with a big red circle and a line through it. It says, maybe this can be your alternate logo.
Oh, my goodness.
Absolutely outstanding. So, Rhett, Josh Wiley was a big topic of conversation from rookie minicamp with his just good day he had with Will Levis. Anything else kind of stand out to you just from what you saw and what we were discussing out of the practice over the weekend?
First of all, Josh Wiley, big human being.
Yes.
Can stand to add some weight, and I think that he will. The other thing is weird to me. When you heard him talk Saturday, who did you hear?
Vrabel.
No, I
know exactly who you're thinking.
He sounds like John Robinson.
Yep.
Oh, John Robinson. Just the way his tone.
Yeah. He sounds kind of country like
Really?
that.
Shafe, I'll send you some audio of Josh Wiley.
Okay, now I want to listen to this. Can we play it?
Because I'm serious. There's
Mono. He is kind of monotone.
There's a cadence and a tone, and certainly the dialect, the twang there. The drawl, if you will.
Is he from Cincy originally?
You know what?
Because he went to Cincinnati, obviously.
Right.
So I'm curious if he's if he's a Midwestern guy, because like you were mentioning, the twang.
Yeah.
Now I'm really interested to hear this.
He sounds like John Robinson. Wow. That's interesting. Kid seems to have the it factor about him, though, Rhett B, it seems. As far as playmaking ability, as far as being able to make a name for himself, man. He's definitely made some lists already. I think Will called it out yesterday as one of those late-round guys that can potentially be a starter.
NFL.com had a list of day 3 draft picks who could be day 1 starters, and Josh Wiley was on the list.
Was another Titans late draft selection on that list?
There was not another one on there.
Because another one I'm starting to really take a closer look at is Jalen Duncan, pick 186, the tackle from Maryland.
Really?
Athletic, good feet. And I'm not saying he's jumping into the fray. I'm seeing that the whole thing for me going to rookie minicamp is, as Coach Mack would say, seeing who's who in the zoo and just looking at bodies, shapes, and sizes, and faces and numbers, and familiarization. But just look, I looked at Jalen Duncan. I'm like, he looks to be even in better shape than when we saw him in Mobile at the Senior Bowl.
He's a big dude. I'll tell you that.
That might be a Rand Carthon day 3 nugget, which is something I understand Rand was really good at in San Francisco.
Mm-hmm. Would you see him starting?
I mean, hell, anything's possible. I mean, there's one thing that they want better in 2023, and that's an O-line that is able to block, run block, pass block, protect. And I think that's going to come from however they assemble that.
Sure.
I mean, to answer your question, we saw some snaps where Skoronski, Peter Skoronski was at guard. Tackle. And there, listen, that doesn't mean that he's going to do – they work guys at multiple spots. One, to get them practice reps in there, and obviously anybody who did different stuff in college, not just one place like Skoronski did or Jalen Duncan did, they're going to do that throughout these OTAs and mandatory mini camp and going into training camp. They're going to move some pieces and parts around. I have notes from past training camps where I'm just making notes of who's left to right with the ones, who's left to right with the twos, and I just put the day's date on it or what day of camp it is and watch that evolve. And sometimes it doesn't change, but sometimes it's a moving deal.
Well, Rhett, when we looked at his film, when Mike Vrabel.
Oh, Ran Carthon's here.
Oh, hi, Ran.
Duncan. And I went to the room, because I did a similar thing when we were in San Francisco. It's all about collaboration. Like, the defense was supposed to pick at that slot. And because of that, I went to the other room and said, we got to stand on the table for this guy, Jalen Duncan. And here you have him.
It sounds like Jalen Duncan is your Tennessee version of Elijah Mitchell.
Elijah Mitchell. He is.
There you
That's
go.
what you call it.
Very good.
Collaboration.
I like it, Rand.
Yeah.
With Callus.
All right, here's
With
Josh
Callus.
Wiley, who Rhett Bryan is suggesting is a John Robinson sound-alike.
There we go.
I'm just trying to do all the right thing, be in the right spots at the right times, and try to make the quarterback look good. That's all I can ask for. Just show great effort.
How was the ball placement on that?
It was pretty darn good, I'd say. It was pretty cool. He came down and celebrated with me. It was pretty cool.
How you like Will, and how important is it already to start to build that chemistry here right out of the gate?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. All the rookies here, everybody here, we're just trying to work together. Build relationships. And try to.
He is from Cincy, by the way.
That'll last a long time. So.
5 too slow.
He sounds just like that man.
It sounds just like John Robinson.
He sounds just
He
like
does.
That's
Now,
hilarious.
He has a twang.
Now, anytime you ever
Now I
have
won't be
any
able to
interaction,
see it.
you won't unhear it at all.
He sounds just
Nothing.
like that
And I
man.
can't take credit. Amy Wells and Ashley Farrell of the Titans are the
Oh,
ones
did
that
they mention
pointed
it?
it out to me. I'm like, you know what? You're exactly right.
It's so
Unbelievable.
That's
Uncanny.
incredible.
Oh my goodness.
Is that his nephew? I mean, seriously, at this point. Well,
That's my cousin from Cincy.
that's when you thought you were done. Nope. Mm-mm.
I'll tell you, his play was more electric than the podium.
I thought it was interesting, Coach Vrabel was trying to rein in everybody's impressions and thoughts of, one open minicamp,
Yeah.
rookie minicamp practice.
Yeah.
And he kept saying, we want to coach the action, not the result. And saying that if Will Levis does that in practice or in a game, he may find himself on the wrong end of that.
Yeah.
In a pick or a tip pick or whatever. And it was nice of Josh Wiley to go out and lay out for his quarterback and go get that, but it might not end that way. And so you have to coach the action to make sure that you're doing the right things. And not to say that nobody's going to be error-free, but I just thought it was interesting seeing those guys kind of working through things and, finding their way, as that is the first little chapter of this book. And Tajay Spears, yep.
Fast.
Looks real.
You like it.
Legit.
Looks real.
How's the knee?
Oh,
Healthy.
God. Yeah. Hey,
I'm healthy.
ask me that question again, Ramon.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I was. I just had to ask somebody that laid eyes on the how's the knee.
That's when I looked at Mike Heath and I said, "That's my guy.
Yeah, yeah.
That's him.
I love it.
You called it a while ago.
Bring
man.
it. Bring it." That's the other thing is, it was brought up during the Q&A of that post-practice presser.
Yeah.
That how well these guys seem to be polished in, talking to all of us.
Yes.
And he's, of course, Coach Vrabel had a
Braves
smart aleck remark about
of course
how much but they do work with them on these things.
Sure.
And they would be doing it a disservice if they didn't. But and look, these guys have been star players on their team. They've had media availabilities and opportunities, and they've spoke to the press before. But in that moment, in particular with Tajay Spears, handled it exactly how you needed to.
And he got asked like 3 different times in 3 different ways.
Well, and the
it's
thing
like
is,
you're not going to get it out of him.
I'm sitting here going, did I miss something? Because in 2022, he balled out.
He did.
I mean,
ball
he
out.
had 1,800 plus yards from scrimmage and 19 touchdowns and 4 of them against Southern Cal and the Cotton. Go watch the Cotton Bowl. That's all I can tell you. And you can tell by the way he carries himself. That's in the rearview mirror. That was a nice day, great, whatever.
He didn't even want to talk about that.
He's a stacker. He wants to stack days and stack wins, which is exactly what Mike Vrabel's looking for.
That's why I was going to ask you. Like that, I almost want to say it's strategic, but the way you guys are talking about laying eyes on these guys and their conversations that we hear and how they go about it, them being young pros right now, I don't even want to call it strategic in them picking these guys and it ended up being all offensive, but it really does seem like they picked guys that were the best available at those times for the needs that they have. Is that what you're getting out of this group? For you to talk about Jalen Duncan, the way he looks right now, like the words have to match the actions when he get out there on the field, right?
Yeah.
But it sounds like best available is exactly what you got.
Well, I mean, all right, so you think about this. Peter Skoronski was the safest and best bet at that point in the draft.
Definitely.
That's a guy that plug him in wherever you want, but he's going to play for a long time.
Facts.
Yep.
When you get to pick 33 that you traded up to, there was clearly an incredible value on the board that overrode a lot of things. You get a quarterback on the cheap for 4 years, 2 or 3 if it works really well. We'll see what happens. And then Tajay Spears, again, I think that's one of the sleeper picks in this draft.
Right.
Of someone who can provide value in his rookie season and just see where things go from beyond. And then no fourth rounder. We've already talked about Josh Wiley, and they did well with the tight end pick the year before with Chigakonko because he wasn't really on a whole lot of people's radar.
Yeah, people weren't talking about him.
And then Jalen Duncan and Colton Dowell. I mean, here's a guy that looks the part and is going to be finding his way through this. But yeah, I think you're right. I think this is, that's him. Yep, that's him. That's him. That's him. That looks good.
And also with Colton Dowell, to me, great story, number one, but this is what I think we all knew was going to be an issue. And it's a small one. Coming from such a small school like UT Martin. And I say that very respectfully in the sense of just like the operations of what to expect out of practice may be a little bit different at UT Martin. Now, I know Coach Simpson has been there for a while and he's done this thing, but the helmet drill where he had to figure it out, he took that on the chin and was just like, just young guy trying to figure out what I need to be doing. Like, that's the separator. But if he ever catches up to what you said, his measurables are, his play that he had at UT Martin, then you have an opportunity to get the most out of a guy. I was just excited to see him say, I'm a young, dumb rookie that got to figure out how not to end up on the ground and do the drill right.
And to own that is not only good for what you're trying to do as a whole, it's just a smart move on your part to go, I don't know what I don't know, and I'm learning.
Yeah.
And some learn quicker than others, but the thing with him is, did he stay at UT Martin because he was loyal and that was who gave him an opportunity? What I want to know that story. Because he clearly, he put on a show where he was. I'll tell you another one that I first talked to you guys about several months ago in looking through draft prospects. I looked real closely at one point Saturday at Ryan Crow and Lori Locust, the outside linebacker coaches, working with Caleb Murphy.
Yeah.
And Caleb Murphy is the guy that was an undrafted from Ferris State that I spoke to you guys about. 25.5 sacks last year, 39 tackles for loss. Very accomplished in D3. In fact, one of 3 division I said D2. One of 3 Division II players invited to the Combine, which I'm like, okay, he got on somebody's radar because you don't just get that invite to the Combine if you're, whatever. And, 6'3", 254.
Yeah.
And this is a guy that, was working on snap drills and pass rush drills and things, putting his hand in the dirt, which he wasn't asked to do a whole lot at Ferris State. And that's just one of these things where you're looking at him real early and you go, if this could turn into another Tierre Tart down the road, look out. That'd be great because
Absolutely.
you can always use as much rotation as you possibly
Absolutely.
can have with pass rushers in a 3-4 defense.
And they've seemed to get that right with depth at least at that position.
Yeah.
Because there's been injuries, and the guys that have stepped up for the most part have done a pretty decent job, So they're good at identifying that.
And, I'm not saying he's ready to go out and do, but, these next few months are going to be super important for a guy like that because he's going to get the coaching. He's going to get the practice reps where he needs them. And, obviously he'll certainly, get opportunities in preseason games. And Coach Vrabel, he was asked about it Saturday, and he said, listen, special teams is where he's going to latch on, and he's already doing a nice job with that. And clearly that's what his focus is going to be. But working with those position coaches at his position to start working on that craft. Because clearly, there's something there. As Coach Mack would say, he's not an empty chair. So, that was somebody else. And I watched for several minutes of that last few minutes of that availability we had Saturday.
Can I really quickly ask you for just my own interest reasons? Because I was shocked to even see that he was on the roster, was Washington State DB Armani Marsh. And he got signed to a free agent contract, which I thought was incredible considering he was not drafted, obviously, and was with the Jets, and they let him go and then got a late invite to the Titans camp. I'm just curious as to see if you saw anything from him that day.
There was so much going on.
I know. That's
and
for
it's
me,
the first
too.
time I'd been in practice, and I don't know when, so I can honestly tell you I didn't. But clearly they saw something there to give him a chance to latch on. And, there's a couple of those, it seems like every year that, they get an invite and then it's like, hey, you know what? That we kind of like some things we saw. Let's keep this thing going.
Yeah.
So that's all I would answer to that is that clearly there was something there that they saw that piqued their interest.
Rhett, one thing that stuck out to me yesterday, Azeez Al-Shire and Sean Murphy-Bunting both sound like they've been in the building for years.
Yep.
I thought it was cool, the story of Azeez giving up a first-class ticket to go sit with Sean Murphy-Bunting on the plane. I think it was either to or from Nashville, but they had a flight together coming in for free agent processes. And
I think it was the departing flight.
Yeah.
But, those two things I hear with those two talking yesterday, and same thing with Daniel Brunskill. They're pros. Yeah. They've been in it for more than just a minute. They've been around successful organizations and teams. And, let's not forget, Sean Murphy-Bunting's got a world championship ring.
Yeah.
And,
Absolutely.
Daniel Brunskill and
Facts.
Azeez Al-Shire have played in, NFC championship games and, those kinds of things. So, this isn't their first time around the block. So it is good that you have, and that tells the quality of what they tried to do in free agency, knowing that they had to get some money things right and not overpaying for things and, just strategically working through that. I thought that part of Rand Carthon's early tenure has been really nice, is to see how he finding the right guy fits and getting them for, not a bargain, but not full street money because maybe they're not completely accomplished at one spot or, like Daniel Brunskill's played all over the line. And we know what Azeez Al-Shire's done with the 49ers in that defense. But now they have a chance to be the guy.
Exactly. Yep.
Rhett Bryan, always the guy. Wednesdays here on Ramon, Kalen, Will. Appreciate it as always, sir.
Thank you
Thanks,
all.
Rhett.
Congratulations on the logo. Have a lovely evening
Thank you.
What do they call it? The Palace?
Geodis Park, the castle.
The castle. Sorry.
Castle.
You went
I
far.
fumbled that.
You went far.
That's a demerit, though. Castle.
Demerit.
We'll give you a
I'll
pass.
take that for you.
There's Rhett Bryan with us. Inky Johnson sends us home here on the Wednesday edition of RKW. Coming up, 104.5 The Zone.
RK Dub.
RKW is powered by All Four Seasons Garage Doors here on 104.5 The Zone. As we wrap things up, the Buck Reisig Show is coming up next. They've got the dumbest thing in sports this week coming up at 11 o'clock this morning. Your mom. And that is always what Jonathan Schaefer replies with from the RKW Twitter account.
Your mom.
Yeah, that's right.
This song reminds me of the intro to Superbad.
Yeah.
You know what
Boogie.
this song reminds me of? Tennessee football.
How?
The Pride of the Southland Band plays this song about 2 or 3 times a game.
Never actually heard it.
I could see that getting in on the horns there.
Best band in college football.
Never heard the song.
No questions asked.
Southland Band.
The Pride of the Southland Marching Band.
You know, speaking of that, because we're very festive today and having a good time.
We are.
Hey, Moan.
Yo.
Here we
Moan.
go.
What we got going on?
Hear the Pride
By
play
the
a
way,
song?
Squeaky was hidden.
Yeah, who the hell
Squeaky
is
was
Squeaky?
hidden.
Hey,
What's
Moan.
wrong with y'all?
Get it out.
Kayla's not happy.
Excuse
about
me?
No.
Hey, Moan.
Squeaky
Moan.
couldn't breathe in
Hey,
the box.
Hey, Squeaky. Squeaky.
it. All the toys were put back in the
What's
box.
in the box?
What's in the box?
What's in the box?
That means something very different. Hey, Squeaky, you ready? Squeaky. Tell me if you're ready,
Put
Squeaky.
Smokey in a box. You can't silence us.
There it is. Give it to us.
Come on, Smoke, let them know. Here we go. All record time. You'll always be big dog Smoke. Good all record time.
You will not put Smokey in a box.
We would not put Smoke in the box. Who gave anybody permission to touch
Nobody.
our stuff on the table? Nobody.
I don't think anyone knew it was our stuff. Other than maybe Buck, because we told him on Twitter.
What?
Wait, what was that back there?
Schaefer was
Mike is
answering
high.
the phone.
Mike is high.
He still
I
had
was
his mic
like,
on.
oh.
There's probably somebody calling, complaining, I'm done with the
No,
Smokey thing.
it's
man."
Inky Johnson.
Is it not Ink today?
It's
Ink got to hit the
Ink.
stage today.
It's midweek motivation.
You got to hit the stage.
It's on the hotline.
Is he on the hotline?
Yeah.
Like Pretty Ricky? On
Is
the
that
hotline?
Ink?
Nah, I don't know if that's Ink.
Take the hotline, Will.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
To the hotline we go. I
Okay.
don't know who this is. Good morning.
I threw away the toys. I threw them back in the box.
You know what?
I sent Squeaky back to the shadows the way that I sent Bert away, all right? Get them out of there. Get them away from me. I don't want to see them. I don't want to hear them. I don't want
That's
anything
it.
to do
That's
with
it.
them.
Where are my weapons?
Buck, why do you hate happiness and things that are fun?
Because it gets in my way.
Well, that sounds like a you problem. How big of a way do you need? Kayla is actively, as I'm speaking right now, moving them all back on this seat. So this is you've started a war with the wrong
Yeah,
the wrong person.
This is fine. I've got plenty of these things going on in my life. I can deal with another one. Let's go.
She's putting all the balls in your seating area, just so you know.
You've got rugby to the
Well,
left. You've got
All the
soccer.
softballs over there.
Interesting.
I just did that, Buck.
So that'll be fine because at least that way when Lucas and Robert say something that pisses me off today, I can just pick.
See, it's all
I
about
hung up
anger
on him.
management.
No, I hung up on him.
You ain't got no time for that, Shay.
Yeah, you know,
You got no time for
what?
that.
Hey, Buck.
That's the Colts.
That's right.
And IU, because we play them in something soon, I feel like.
Softball.
Yeah.
Tennessee, Indiana is playing softball.
Yeah, you doggone
What if we
right.
get him to shave his head again?
You the ops right now, Buck.
incredible.
And
That's
you
fun.
my guy.
Buck
You
shaved
my
his
guy.
head before?
Yeah,
You've shaved your head
Oh.
before, Buck?
that was a
I didn't
story.
know
I'll tell you
that.
the story off here.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
What
Was
happened
it
on
Poison
it?
Ivy?
I hung up
No.
on him. He was being slanderous.
It was a bet that he made over
was a
the
bet?
Tax Slayer Bowl,
He's
Tennessee and
not
Indiana.
good at making bets.
Well, no, he's not. It's okay. It's
We
fine.
got to do better with your odds,
He's got a sports gambling partnership. He's
Talk
good.
to Slay.
Jeez. Come on, man.
Inter Miami and Nashville SC tonight. Going to be a fun night at Geodis Park. I'm excited for you guys to try the empanadas at Geodis Park for the first
They
time.
better not fail either, Will.
No, they don't know how to.
I'm excited. That's what I'm getting.
What
And a margarita.
We got to coordinate a time for everybody because I don't want to be late. You feel me? I
Is
want to be
7
there.
good to be there?
I don't want to be
With
there.
the 7:30 kick?
I would
or-
be like in the seats at 7.
Okay.
Oh.
That's fair.
Oh.
Like I mean, you would want to be on the premises by about probably 6:30.
Okay. It's my
first
It's a
soccer
bit of
game.
a
There we go.
walk from the parking
It's
lot.
my first one here, not covering it.
It's my first one, period.
It's a good time.
Other than youth
Really?
soccer.
The number
Yeah,
3
never gone.
team
Okay,
in the
cool.
Eastern Conference, Nashville SC.
Number
Let's
3
go.
Yeah.
I'll take
I'm
that.
pumped.
And that was talking soccer.
Are we going to get on the big screen?
I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't get my
I just
soccer
call
facts
the games.
today.
Well, we weren't giving away any more tickets.
Dude, don't
I
tease
kind of was
me and
looking
take it
forward
away.
to that, by the way.
So
I was too, Kayla. How you gonna snatch that away from me like that, Will?
okay, well, Miami won its first 2 matches of the season against Montreal and Philadelphia, then went on a 6-match losing streak, and now they're on a winning streak again. So there's your soccer fact.
Until they play tonight at Nashville.
This just didn't hit the same.
We're back at it tomorrow morning on No Sleep at 6 a.m. for our Thursday
That's
morning
true.
show. Inky Johnson sends us home. It's midweek motivation here at RKW.
I want everyone to do something for me. On the pad, in your phone, whatever it is, I want you to put the word gratitude. And tonight, after the day comes to an end, after you wind down, I want you to do something for me. Right? When you get alone, when you think about things, when you reflect, I just want you to write until you just stop writing. Things that you're grateful for. Right? And do me a favor, every single day, find time to write down things that you're grateful for. No matter how great the day may go, no matter how bad the day may